Oh, there I am. Hi, everybody. Ooh, I put some lipstick on before the show. And this is like a mirror, so is it on my teeth? No? Okay, it's not. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday. Oh, happy Monday. I am Hollis Mahady, and you are tuning in, or maybe you're listening from around the world somewhere. Maybe you're listening on the way home from work, like Joe. Hello, Joe. A special first shout out to you. You be careful driving. Can't wait to see you in the chat room when you get a chance. Take your time, of course. But I'm Hollis Mahady. I'm your host, and this is Holistics Live, your Monday boost if you need it. Hopefully, you don't need it. Hopefully, you had a great day. It is new beginnings, it is spring renewal. I talk about it a lot. Uh, thank you. We had, and a big thank you to my executive producer here and my board op. Well, I'm actually the board op, but I do have help. And a big shout out to my husband, Dan, for always being there for me. Thank you, Danielson. And I will give you a little round of applause because you deserve it. And we should always tell people, right? Be positive. But sometimes it's just nice to smile, to remind someone they're doing good. We don't always remember to do that, but a little goes a long way. So I'm looking for my applause. So a big applause to everyone who made it through Monday. Like I said, we're not trying to make it through the days. We're trying to create a life we love. So big applause. And I'm here to do just that, to remind you and myself. This is always a pep talk for me too. Life can hit you. Life can smack you down, can it? Sometimes. And it's always about mindset. And I talk about that a lot. That is the theme, one of our running themes. We talk about a lot of stuff here. We talk about AI and music and creativity and the crazy world we live in. Full, like I say, AI is a big one, and that comes up a lot because we are navigating through a new world, through a shift, if you will. If you were here Friday, that was the last time I was live, Friday night, and we did a great TGIF episode. Jessica joined the show. I was wearing my Steve Urkel shirt. If you missed it, the replay is up. And getting into the weekend, I actually uploaded 20 episodes. So we're actually on a 21 episode today, our 21st episode of Holistics here. And man, I am playing catch up. It's one of those things where I say I wish I could clone myself because when you do everything, it's very hard and it's so time consuming. But I wanted to get the podcast out as much as I can so we could get new people in the chat room and new people just knowing that we're here, we're growing community and that we are here, real people. I've all the people who come in the chat room, most of them I know already, but we want to welcome new people in as well and let them know that, if they're in the struggling or if they're in the world and like they're like, oh my gosh, the robots are taking over AI and all this stuff. We want some real human connection here. This is a great place. So my goal this weekend, I've been meaning to do it. Because there's ways to distribute your podcast and all this stuff. And I'm trying to learn to get as much places as it can be. So I spent a while trying to get it all up on Spotify. And then you got to hook it to the iTunes radio and iHeartRadio. There's lots of ways to get it out. So it's just time consuming. So it took me a while, but I got 20 episodes. My point is we're also on Spotify. So if anyone listens there, you can also find me on Spotify. All my episodes are up on my website. But now that I have Spotify, I'm thinking, keep the episodes that are there and maybe put a link to Spotify because you can listen on the go. You don't have to watch. It could be in your car. You could hook it to your Bluetooth and listen to me anytime. You don't have to watch or be here, but all those repeats are up there. And they're all of my episodes, all of our episodes are worth listening to. Maybe I'm biased here, but I think so. We put a lot of time and effort, and it's always great conversations, especially when people are in the chat room. But I don't have my glasses here. Like I'd like to do my housekeeping. They are somewhere around here. But again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, you may be watching on the Rumble. Maybe you're on Facebook. Maybe you're on YouTube. Hopefully this is streaming to YouTube. I had a disturbing comment from my good friend Quentin saying that he was trying to tune into the show on Friday on think Facebook and he couldn't find it, but I do believe it's up there. So DM, let me know if you check it out, if you guys are watching on my Facebook. But there's many ways to watch it, and don't ever fret because you could always catch the replay, or it's not live when you watch the replay and you can't chat, because I love doing live because everyone can chat and stuff. But we are up there, so if you missed it, don't fret. But to get into housekeeping, like I said, wherever you may be watching it, maybe it's a repeat, maybe you're in a different time zone like the UK, or you are in California, or again, a replay somewhere other countries as well. Like I said, the UK. You have all different time zones. So it's always sometimes it's hard to catch it live if you're interested in watching it. But we do I totally lost my frame of thought because I'm thinking a million miles a minute here because it's Monday and we had a big weekend. So we get to talk about everything that happened. But with all that said, yes, back to my point, I remembered why I have a QR code. I always say this in the beginning. I do accept tips, just like a bartender would take tips when they pour you a beer. You give them $1 usually to be polite and kind. I do take tips. And tips, why do I take tips? Because this is not free to do. I'm an independent musician. I'm trying to fund my music album. I'm trying to fund this radio station and network that we've built. I do a lot of independent content. We are not funded by anyone. We don't have any sponsors just yet, but we are getting one. Yes, we are co-creating with God, or manifesting that, to get a sponsor for this show. And then I keep talking about their products. Of course, if I believe in it, I'm not just what's it called? Carnival barker, right? When you're just like, oh, whatever pays. Sure. But not just anything. I have to believe and I have to test it. I have to try it and spread the word about it, because that's how people make money, right? There's always we're not bombarded with advertisements here. You're not going to see a lot of advertisements. I will put my buy me a coffee commercial that I created up here once in a while, just to remind you that tips support the show. As I said, I'm an independent creator, and this stuff unfortunately costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time to do. So if you're feeling generous and in the mood, you can click on that QR code there and it'll take you right to buy me coffee. You could do a one-time donation, or you could sign up for one of my exclusive tiers where I do an extra podcast and lots of exclusive content that I don't talk about anywhere else except the Buy Me a Coffee page. And that is up here just in case. Like I said, sometimes I wait to do this later in the show because I don't like to be like, just give me your money right up front. But I like to make it known that the option's there. And that's what this means. And also my website there, hollismahady.com, that has the code as well right in the corner there. If you go, click on the Buy Me Coffee. You can do a one-time thing, a couple bucks. If you like this, you want to see it on the air, keep going and coming back. That's how it's going to happen until we get those big advertisers and all that money rolling in, baby, because we are manifesting it. And I totally feel in a new vibe. So, you got to do your self-work and a lot of mind tricks, because your mind's your worst enemy, I say. It could be your best friend, but it could be mean to you as well. If you have those doubting thoughts that nothing's going to go right, sometimes we create a reality. But just as I was talking about right up here, that's the buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady. It's all there for the taking. It's all up there. And there's some really cool stuff. And just this weekend, I added some little behind the scenes as I went to my music studio and all that jazz. But we'll talk about that a little more in depth when we get into the show. This is just the introduction. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm Hollis, and this is Holistics. So let's get rid of that, because I am my own producer. And with that all said, let's pop into the chat room. I see a few comments there, and welcome anyone if they're in, because I love you all very much. We have Magadorf Bikers in the house. It's good evening. When your show starts at 7, I'll be on when your show starts at 7. I'll be on the road. Yes, Jojo is probably listening to this, and I'll be able to tune into the chat around 8. Aw, thank you for letting me, Jojo. And Jim Tim's in the house. Jim Tim says, Hollis, are you ready? I am ready. It's Monday, and I'm ready to rock because I got my hair done today. I don't know if you guys can notice this, but if you compare it to Friday night, I had a little rootage going on. So a lot of money later and a couple hours in the hair chair. Now you don't see the little skunky skunk, but I don't mind roots. I think roots are kind of rock and roll. So I like to let them grow out. They're like, oh, come back in 6 weeks. I'm like, yeah, if I had that kind of money, but we're going to manifest that money, because getting your hair done is freaking expensive. But I think it's a necessity. I am on the camera, guys. We got to have our hair looking good. I know you guys got it so much easier. You barely have to do anything. But girls, hair is our accessory. So, and I've tried to do it myself, and it's just not quite the same. By the time you end up buying all the products and this and the time and all that, like, I should have just gone to the hair. They're professionals. The hair salon, hair stylist, hair colorist, especially blonde, because guys, this is probably very boring to you, but if you're not married and you're single and you're trying to get a woman, you have to understand the hair, okay? Because it's a big deal to us. Just like what else is a big deal? I mean, makeup and all that, but hair is your accessory. Girls are very into their hair and their makeup as well. So you get the tips here. Listen to Hollis. I know I know a thing or two about hair, blonde and dark and colored as well. So blonde is a pain in the butt, but I do like my blonde sometimes. I like when it's mwah, fresh done. That's why I said it's a photo op. Tomorrow I got to get into the studio and start doing some footage for my new single coming out covers. I promise it's coming out, but I got to shoot some micro content. So back in the chat room. Thank you. Jim does say he said that before I talked about my hair. So you did notice. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's nice and blonde. Like I said, unfortunately it doesn't last long because it like grows. You feel like your hair never grows. Like, oh, how do these girls get the really long hair and luscious locks? And you're like, God, why won't it grow? But it certainly grows from up there. So it is growing. Hair grows, I think, a half an inch every month. Yeah, that's what they said. Because I went in today and I had about like almost an inch of black there that they covered up. They covered it up. They make it all look like I'm a natural blonde. If I hid this, you wouldn't even know. Huh. So, oh yay! Dan says I'm on Spotify now as well. Wow, is it live on Spotify? Or all my episodes are up there. But Jason's in the house. Hi, Jason. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And James is here and says, I hope you had a great weekend. I did have a good weekend. It was a little work and a little play. Literally a little play. If you guys are on my Buy Me a Coffee, I know a few of you guys are. You'll get that exclusive post showing the behind the scenes of what I did. And Saturday, finally, I got back to the studio, and I say it like that because I want to be there like every day, but life happens and I was doing all this stuff. Just I haven't gotten there for a while, and we had to go back to Pennsylvania, and my studio is sitting there, and I'm paying it for it every month, and I'm like, oh gosh, I got to get back in there. I can't wait. It's the number one thing I want to do, but it seems to be sometimes the last thing I'm doing. But we are changing that. But I'm an open book, and I did put a little behind the scenes footage on my Buy Me a Coffee. I know Joe saw it because he wrote me a lovely email back about it, because I let my followers on there know, my followers, my fans, or my supporters. You guys are awesome. So I let you know on there, and you saw like I did a little. It was shorter than I wanted to, but I'm going to be doing a lot more this week. But I showed my studio, the beginning of it. I forgot to do an after picture, but it's looking so much better now. It was a little cluttered. It's a smaller room because we had a big room when I first moved here, but it got really expensive, and we were moving and paying rent and paying mortgage. I'm like, oh, so we were able to stay in the building, which I love. It's called Rock and Roll Studios. It's open 24 hours. I love that. And we just moved to a smaller room, and we ended up bringing some of our other stuff that we didn't really need here in storage. Oh, moving is a nightmare, but I'm going to hold on to that room as long as I can. We're going to manifest lots of money so we could even upgrade to it back to the big room, because anything's possible. And I think that, like I say, that's a little bit what we're talking about today, about mindset and doing whatever you have to do to keep the dream alive. But yes, so thank you for that. So that's the thing. I didn't, it's one of those things where, just like I said, time goes so fast. And for people out there, I always talk about this, for the content creators, or, people online who are working, trying to make money online, or are making money, and they're doing maybe a show like this, a podcast, a live show. There's a whole other half that you guys who are just viewers don't see, which is good. You don't need to see all that. But when I say I wish I could clone myself, like I fall behind. I'm like, okay, I need time just to do all the stuff just to get here. And it's just one of those things where I don't like to play replays. I want to be live every night, but I have to play some replays this week just so I could catch up. Because the thing is, I really want to get guests on the show. But again, I got to book the guests. I got to reach out to them. I got to make promos for them. This is all the stuff you do when you're independent. When you get some money coming, you get an assistant, you get a team. They can help you do some of this stuff. And then you could just be live all the time. So we'll see. So tomorrow might be a repeat, which I I want to show up every night, but there's people who maybe never saw those episodes, but I will let you know. I will let you know if it's going to be a repeat because I just have to, um, like I said, I kind of have to backtrack to go forward. I always say sometimes you have to go a couple steps back where it seems, oh, I'm gone or something, but it's to do it better because I really want to get more guests on here. I want to get some new commercials and things made. And who does it all? It's me. And Dan helps me, of course. I couldn't do it without him either. But if it's just two of us, so it's tight. It's hard, but it doesn't matter because I'll be here in some form of another. And if you really want to follow exactly what I'm doing, Buy Me a Coffee is the best way because I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff up there because I want to get to my Comedy of Errors podcast, my 3rd episode. So I'm doing a lot. I guess that's the thing. You spread yourself a little thin, but you're always busy. You're always working. So the best way this week, definitely, if you're not on the Buy Me Coffee and you want to check it out and see the behind the scenes and all the music stuff, head over there because I've been saying forever, and you guys have heard me, my single's coming out. My single's coming out. The only reason it's not out yet is because I haven't had time to do it all. So I'm going to probably focus on this week, do that, maybe play some replays this week. But that's really in order to give you like really fresh content next Monday. I really want to get my first guest on for next week. I have a couple of people in mind that they agreed to come on, so I got to kind of follow them up and of course, we got to promote it and push it out there because you want everyone to be able to get to know them and see them. So, with that said, guys, I will go into the title of the show in a minute here. But again, just for, I just got a text message. Sorry, I got distracted. Oh, it reminded me of something I want to talk about though. But yes, but just for those new people who might be brand new and are wondering, who is this girl and how do I support her? Just in case you didn't know, here you go. Are you enjoying the podcast? If you'd like to support what I'm building, you can buy me a coffee. Every bit of support helps me keep this podcast going and release my music independently. You can leave a one-time tip or become a member for a few dollars a month and unlock exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage you won't find anywhere else. Just visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady or scan the code you see on the screen. And guys, as I talk about my music, this is, like I said, I bounce between the two things. Holistics is here. Obviously, I love being here all the time. But I'm trying to do like probably too much at once. But it's because I can't wait to put the music out and then I can't wait to get to the next song. But there's just so much that goes into it. So this is the song I'm talking about. And this week, like I said, I'm going to go into Rock and Roll Studios now that it's nice and clean. I still got to organize a little bit more because I need that time to go in and I have to set up another setup like this there. So I can do holistics maybe from there too as well. Because that's the thing. I just have to get another camera. I have to do, and that's just boring crap that takes forever. It's the technical stuff that I hate, but then it won't be a problem. It'll be easier going live here and there. But it's like almost right now, it's like one or the other. So this week I really am going to be heavily focused on music, and doing the other podcast, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, covers the little teaser for those who might be new here and have never heard it. I am an independent artist, and this is my first single coming out. It's just a teaser. Life is a gift, the game we play. So there you go, guys. That's hollismahady.com. Like I said, if you are interested in the music part of what I do and you're not already signed up for the email list, go over there and sign up. You'll get a free copy of the Reconnection Movement and you will be notified when the single finally comes out. I got myself on TikTok. That is time freaking consuming too. And I am still in the process of picking out a trendy water bottle because right now all I have sounds so stupid, right? But it's true. I want to get like my water bottle and then I get to tell everyone, do you want one of these too? Go over and grab one. It supports the show. So I have this boring thing, Giant Eagle spring water, but we got to drink. I'm doing a fast And that is actually the title of the show today, which made me think of it was because it's fasting. We'll talk about that because I think there's a lot of benefits to it. It is controversial. It worked for some people. Some people are like, oh, I can never do that. I've done so many fasts in my life. And I do that a lot of time, not just for physical, but for mental too. We'll talk about that. Let me take a sip. You guys, cheers. Here's my trendy water bottle. Oh, there's a small sip. And we got Timothy Shea in the room. Mug instant. Holy moly, he's late to class again. I'm going to scold you, but I don't have my glasses on, Timothy. Oh, I feel like it gave me lipstick on my teeth. No, it's not. Maybe my favorite song from the new album. Aw, well, thank you. And that's my favorite part of the song too. And Timothy, I emailed it to you too, I think. So I was actually playing that in the studio and I kind of hesitated to put it out, but I'm being very real. That's what happens when I haven't practiced. Like, it's not like I forget some of my own songs. I just need some time to get back there and put it all. But I was a little rusty even at my own songs because I mean, when I was leading up to the album, I was playing those things every single day. I mean, it's my song, so of course I remember them. But I was gone for like a couple, like almost 2 months. I haven't played these songs, and it made me sad. So you'll see it's very rusty, but it's gonna be awesome soon. So I just need to get in there by myself for like a day and just go through all my stuff, and I'll be back like boom. But I was playing that live on the behind the scenes on Buy Me a Coffee there, and getting my backing track and playing it. There's also the whole thing about getting the microphone set up so it sounds nice and loud and lip singing to some of the songs for TikTok. Oh, there's so much. But when you hear it, you'll just hear it's live from my Bose system. I have a Bose system. Bose is an awesome system. That cost a lot of money, but I was like, okay, that I got that when I was in Maine, and then we brought it with us, obviously. But that's a bad boy, and that I would love to have another one. I don't need another one. When we do stadium tours. Now we'll have a big sound crew by then. But this is a great system. It's easy to move and it sounds freaking awesome. But there's also ways that I have to, get the microphone hooked in so it's not like capturing the sound. And there's so much that goes into it. But what do you do? I'm not trying to complain, but it's like it's a lot. It's learning a lot. And God forbid you run into a snag and then it's like, oh, 3 hours later, what wire do I need? And you're like, oh, my podcast. You know what I mean? So it's like you just need a couple days to kind of get everything sorted and back on the right track so we can move forward. But yes, Timothy, you have to hear the whole album because I don't think you've heard a few of them. I don't share my music with too many people, but not yet because I mean nothing's out yet, and there's a reason for that. Because as we, especially my first single covers, there's something this whole stuff. I don't even know if it's worth it. If there's musicians in there, let me know. The whole Spotify thing and getting it pitched to playlist because you want to get your music out there. You want someone to pick it up and put it on the radio, of course, and all that. There's a whole method. And it's like if any song's out, you can't pitch it to the playlist. I mean, I haven't gotten that far yet, but that's what I'm saying this week as well. I'm going to look into that because I don't want in 2 or 3 weeks being like, my single's coming out in a couple weeks. I want to be like, okay, I have a date. So yes. And Manga Institute, good, you did see it. They said it was a great behind the scenes peek for Joe and me and everyone else who bought Hollis a coffee. Yes, thank you guys so much. If you want premium content, kick in. Things aren't so bad that we can't afford $5. Aw, thank you, Tim. Yes, I forget to say that enough. No, it really helps. It really helps. People think, oh, maybe they don't think this, but like there's no amount too little, even $1. I mean, but $1 is, hey, anything is better than nothing because sometimes I'm just saying $1, they take their cut as well. Buy me a coffee. I don't know. So, but $5 or whatever, it helps. And especially like I always say, it's a little from a lot, we say this in our radio station all the time. If, we have a lot of viewers and listeners, but if everyone chipped in a little, it could really, really help. And there could be a lot more content, a lot more shows. But, because you don't want just one person paying so much money. Like, who has the money to spend? But it's like, if you enjoy it, $5 from a lot of people goes a long way, and $5 from 100 people, that's $500. I mean, it could fund my music studio. I pay that out of pocket. But this, because of all you generous people that put a dent in my bill for this month. So I was able to, it's just, damn. And I know that everybody, like a lot of people are struggling, but so we're going to change that, right? We're going to make money. We need one of these advertisers. Like, there's podcasters out there. They're making freaking $5 million a show and stuff. And it's just like, we're not asking for that, but it's just like, a little bit would be nice. So I guess that's how they do it with advertisers, sponsors, and all that. So we are going to get there. But thank you again, Timothy. He's always there, and not always there, but he is always there, and he's always so supportive, and he's there, and he reminds me. Thank you guys. Thank you, Timothy, for saying that. Again, if you want premium content, kick in. Things aren't so bad that we can't afford $5, but yes. And let's see. Any other comments in the chat room? Okay, you are on YouTube. Dan Smirglio says you're on YouTube. Okay, good. Am I on Facebook? And Dan Spriglio, it says you're now on Spotify as well. Is that, I'm not live on Spotify, I don't think. I have to upload the episode afterwards. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about, just drop a comment in the chat room there. How was everyone's weekend? What did everyone else do? I'm always just talking about myself, but I don't want to just talk about me. Smirglio's out there, a big wave to Smirglio and the kitties. And Jake, of course, Smirglio is the best. That's Dan's dad, and we love him very much. He's a fantastic chef, and he has many other talents as well. And yes. Okay, thank you, Dan. Dan says, yes, I'm on Facebook. Okay, perfecto. So hopefully maybe Chris will come into the chat room. I don't know if Chris is, must kill Chris, because there's something I wanted to talk about. That I saw a comment from someone today on one of his songs, and I felt like a lion myself. I saw someone, well, maybe when he comes in, I'll talk about it again. But it was funny. That wasn't funny. It was because Chris, like, we talk about this all the time, AI, right? AI in music and stuff. And Chris is a real true artist. I mean, he doesn't use AI in his music, but he's used some of it to generate like a photo, like a picture for his cover. And I haven't done that yet, but like I've used AI for pictures and stuff, because one thing I am not isn't a drawer. Like, I'm artistic as far as, like, I like to think I am, I like to put graphics together, and I think I have a good eye for doing all that stuff and videos. But at the same time, I cannot draw very well. That's one thing I wish I was, because then I could really do everything. But but someone put a comment and thing like, this is AI generated music. And I barked in. I was like, it is not. It's not AI generated music. It's not. His song Lions is an awesome song. And one, it was written, I mean, I can't speak for Chris. I don't know exactly when he wrote it, but we've been using it for a couple of years. So it's a couple of years old. So it's definitely was not made by Suno. But the guy wasn't really listening or obviously looking at it, but he just assumed it was like AI generated music, because the cover is more of like, looks a little AI, because it's like, it's really good. And what human could there are humans who can do that. But anyway, my point is, give us a break. They force these tools down our throat. We're trying to fight against it, but at the same time, you got to use the tools that are given, and all this crap about AI. So I think, you use it when you need to. I mean, these clips, I have to use AI. I use AI a lot. But for the music itself, I don't. But, if I have to use Grok or whatever to get an image, like I used Grok the other day to get that coast to coast image, not coast to coast, but our version, the ocean to ocean. And then I threw our faces on it. So like Dan and I added some stuff to it. But I use it because I don't have time. They make it so. It's like they make you use this. They don't make you, I guess, but they give you kind of no choice. You kind of have to use these tools. And like I said, for an artist, you have to use the shortcuts. There's no way around it. I mean, at the same time, but again, the guy, I was happy to see he's concerned about AI generated music, and why listen to if it's AI generated? The point was it's not, and Chris is not an AI. He doesn't use it for his music and stuff. But yeah, I'm with them. Hey, if you have to use it for the cover photo and stuff, like, yeah, it would be ideal to be able to pay another artist and to handwrite it, but it's always a struggle. It's like, well, I don't make that much money, so I kind of have to use the shortcut, which is AI. But maybe then when I make money, the second one, I could pay someone to do the cover. We always want, at least me, and I think you always want humans to do it. I'm talking about all the time, AI voiceovers, but sometimes you don't have the money, you got to do it. But then maybe it'll help you make the money, so then you can hire a human. So it's one of those things, What do you guys think about that? Again, for artists, it's probably really, really sucks, because same thing. There's really, that's a huge talent. Like, there's really artists who went to school to draw. I kind of think of it like singing. I don't know. I could be wrong because I never tried, really to learn how to draw. I'm sure there's techniques, but sometimes I feel like you're just a natural. You're not, like, kind of like singing. Like sometimes you just have a good voice and some people just don't, it's like, but you can get better, just like art. Like I'm not a good artist, drawer, painter. But if I watch techniques and I like you watch YouTube videos, and I learned how to sketch and do all that, I probably could become better, but doesn't come natural to me. So, but for artists, it probably sucks too because now all these AI generated. Who needs a cartoonist now? So I get it, but right, what do you guys think? It's just one of those things where it's weird. Like I don't know. I really don't know because there's, like I said, there's good and bad about all of it. I think probably for artists and creatives and stuff. I don't know. I think it's more. I say more cons than pros for the people who really have invested their lives, and writers as well. I mean, ChatGPT, now you don't have to know how to write, and authors and all that. But for content creators who don't know how to do anything and all they want to do is make content with using everybody else's stuff, I guess it's good for them. And that's all. But I don't know. So anyway, ole mole. So real quick, let me say just like I said, I didn't have that much time to really prepare anything for the show because I've been chasing and trying to catch up. But we'll talk a little bit about the title of the show, Living in the Past is a Present Day Fast. A very wise person named Dan told me that, and I thought it was a great line. So we'll delve into the meaning of that. Let me see. We are at 7. We are not at the top of the hour, but I will play just a little bit of a commercial here. And here, because I talk about the creatives here, we'll talk about this because I do this as well. So I'll be back in one minute. Here we go. Hi guys, I'm Hollis and I'm here to bring your creative vision to life. Whether it's designing your video thumbnails or editing your content or recording voiceovers for commercials, I've got you covered. I'm part of the in-house production team at Voice of the People U.S.A. Radio and Television Network, and over the last 6 years, I taught myself everything from production to post-editing and beyond. I know exactly what it feels like to be stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure where to even begin. And that's exactly why I now offer these services to other people as well. So if you have a project you're working on, you can hit the link below where you can see examples of my work, from commercials I've produced to voiceovers and more. And if you like what you see and think I can help with what you're looking for, feel free to reach out. We can create something awesome together. So there you go. And that's the thing too. It's like with my creative services, it's kind of, again, it's like, where do you focus? I kind of have all this stuff, but then the next piece is, okay, do I focus all my time trying to get people to pay me to do commercials for them? Or are you focused on the music? You're focused on the podcast. You kind of have to do like everything. But like I said, maybe it's spread too thin a little bit. So this week, maybe just got to do it in chunks. I'm talking out loud. If anyone else has this problem or if this is boring for you guys. But like I said, it's creative people. Like we're just trying to figure it all out. And my most recent endeavor, as I talked about it last week, was going out to TikTok. And like I said, I'm experimenting, a social experiment, going to these rooms, figuring out how these people do it. But I did actually put some live little clips like on TikTok with my music and stuff, some live clips. And I'm trying to grow that account because you need to get 1,000 followers in order to go live. So I want to do some live music on TikTok and see if like you could get some new fans and spread the word. We have to do I'm an artist from Cleveland. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a rock artist, I guess. I guess that's my style. And all these, I don't know what Timothy would say because he heard some of the songs, but you have to pick your genre. What are you? I made up mine. I said rock and soul. I said because you have some soul in there. Soul. My music has soul. I put my soul into it. I don't know if you would call it, like, technically, what is soul music? Like, what would you guys call that? Like heart and soul and all that, or R&B? R&B. It's definitely not R&B, but like I don't know what I would consider my music. But that's always something as an artist, you're like, well, what genre do you fall into? Because you got to find your target audience and who's your avatar and all this stuff. But like I said, the soul of it is my soul is into it, and deeper lyrics, I would say, and just we're talking about the shadows and the light and all that stuff. So but my voice is pretty rock, and I think that comes across in some of my songs. So I guess I'm just calling it alternative rock or alternative indie. Indie means independent. So, but when you think of indie artists, I always think of like, I don't know, hipster, like weird drums and things like that. So I don't know. There's a lot. So I guess no one could really chime in because they haven't heard much of my music except that one clip. But I guess that would be covers is more of a rockier tune. But then I have a couple songs on there more piano, so I wouldn't call that rock. So I don't know. It's figuring it all out, training the algorithm, all that BS. Um, Dan says, yes, I'm on Basic. Perfect. Perfecto. So let's see. Let me see. I'm going to go into the Rumble here. I don't know if anyone's on Rumble tonight watching. Maybe you guys are on Rumble. I know Timothy is, and Jim Tim is on there, and Biker. You guys are on the Rumble. But just to pull up my little description I made for the show for tonight, and then we could talk about fasting. I know Timothy's done some fasting. Anyone else ever done fasting in the chat room there? Let's see. So my Rumble description of this show, episode 21, tonight on Holistics with your host, Hollis Mady. That's me. So living in the past. Are you living in the past? Is a present day fast. What does that mean? But let me read the little description of the show. If I could find it here. This marks the beginning of a new chapter. One where I'm not creating from the mind or emotions, but from alignment, mind, body, and spirit working together, right? Heart, mind, body, and soul. Living in the past isn't always obvious, right? Sometimes it shows up in habits, patterns, for sure, patterns, even in what we consume physically and mentally. So that's why I'm saying you do the physical fast, but there's a lot to it, like mentally, for sure, with discipline. This journey is about recognizing that and choosing differently. I've been diving into fasting, not just in the physical sense, but as a deeper release, letting go of what no longer serves me. And a lot of that comes to thinking, right? Detoxing the body, yes, but also clearing out old energy, old stories, old versions of myself that I've outgrown. Because what if holding on to the past is its own kind of attachment? And what if fasting, creating space, is how we finally move forward? This is about discipline, awareness, and intention, about how what we put into our bodies affects our clarity, our emotions, our creativity, our truth. A present day fast, a conscious reset, a choice to step into something new. If you're on a similar path of healing, evolving, and letting go, you're not alone. This is where it begins. But yeah, that's the thing too. Like I said, I've tried so many different kinds of fasts, like as far as diets and all that. It's not a diet. When I lived in LA, I did so many different kinds of diets because I've spoken this about in the show. I mean, you're living in Hollywood; it's the most superficial place probably on the planet. So you're always like, oh, and you're trying to be skinny. You're always at the gym, and you're like, I got my blonde hair now back, but it was always like, oh, blonde, and I was like, oh, it's very superficial, obviously. But we have more depth to us. But fasting, like a lot of people, like for instance, Dan won't mind me telling his story. Dan has some, issues with his, like stomach issues of pain or, rheumatoid arthritis and stuff like that from his days in the army and stuff and pain. And he swears by fasting because he says when he starts fasting, especially once he gets over the first couple days, and there's different kind of fastings too, like when you want to make sure you're having electrolytes and stuff like that. And I should probably do a disclaimer, guys. I'm not a medical doctor. So no, this is just my own experience with it and just sharing it. If anyone else has experience, just let me know if they've tried it. But he swears by it and says after he's into it, the first couple days are usually hard, 1 or 2 days. But if you could get past that, he says is a lot of times when he's fasting for a few days or a week, he's gone a long time fasting. Again, don't recommend that to everyone. Not everyone could do that. But his inflammation goes down because a lot of these foods that we eat, you hear about that. I mean, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, like inflammation, those are inflammatory foods. And I mean, just go on Instagram, go on wherever, and look up diets or whatever. I mean, there's certain foods that make you inflamed, and inflammation could lead to a lot of like pain. So if you're able to get rid of some of those inflammatory foods, which is usually what it's like the junk food, it's the stuff that we process foods, like certain things, cheese. I don't know if cheese is one, but certain things. So they can make your body inflamed. And for him, when he just does a reset, a break, and no food and more water, like lemon water supplements and coconut water is a big one, but electrolytes, because electrolytes you need. That's important. But he says after a few days, his joint pain is feeling better. So it's pretty amazing, like what the power of what fasting can do for pain and also for your mindset. Like a couple of weeks ago, or it was maybe like 3 months ago now, and I want to do it again. I did the master cleanse, and that's something I sent Timothy over his book because he was interested in it. I had 2 copies of it. And again, you've heard this in Hollywood, like maybe you haven't, but I did when I used to live there. It was always like, oh, how do I get skinny real quick? What is it? But the Master Cleanse is this book. It's by a guy named Stanley Burroughs. I think I said that his last name right. And he has a whole book about it, like how these 3 ingredients, like the Master Cleanse is water, um, grade B maple syrup, and cayenne pepper. And these 3 ingredients, he did like all these studies about it and people who were on it. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to do this. And it's always controversial as well. But there's been people like who did the master cleanse for 60 days and like they got rid of certain things that were wrong with them, like some skin disorder, or or maybe eczema. These things cleared up because you're literally starving the whatever's causing that. He said it. This is not me saying it, but I'm just telling you what I've read and stuff, that he had people with cancer that were cured by fasting and stuff like that. I mean, you hear that. You hear that from some people, not always, but so I mean, but for me to do it, like I like to do a little jump start, and because this is what happens to me. I'm sure it probably happens to you guys too. I mean, maybe not, but I'll get in like healthier modes and then you kind of fall off and you go like, even on Friday, I was eating my Jolly Joes and you're like, I don't eat that stuff really. But like I said, a couple weeks ago, I did the master cleanse and I did it for almost 2 weeks. But I incorporated a few other things in it. Like I did it for about 5 days, just a lemonade drink. And you're drinking like 8 of these things a day. And the combination of it, the cayenne pepper is supposed to speed up your metabolism. The lemons are really good for you. Apparently, they're good for your skin. They have another ingredient, like they're another ingredient, but they're good for you. So that's in there, and then the grade B maple syrup. It has to be grade B. If you get the book, you could order it and read it, or probably go on YouTube and like listen to a video for free about it. But that's apparently supposed to give you the calories you needed for the day. And there's like all that stuff, calories. But it's about like, you know, I like doing it because I do feel good by the first 2 or 3 days are hard. Because if you're detoxing your body and you're used to drinking coffee, or, coffee has caffeine, all of a sudden you're not supposed to have anything else when you're doing it. So you're letting go of coffee and you're letting go anything else, maybe soda, whatever it is, diet, anything with caffeine, and then you don't have it, it gives you a headache. So it's not fun. But if you could manage to get to the day 3, that's when the real results start happening. You start feeling more clear, and this is just my experience. I mean, maybe that wouldn't happen for everyone else, but Dan and I did it, and I lost like 15 pounds immediately. Not I mean like after 2 weeks. I mean, but you are not eating for 2 weeks. I mean, it is, but again, it's not just for weight loss, but it was more of a reset. And then of course I was doing my like lower carbs and more healthier things, like lots of more vegetables. I've always tried to be pretty healthy, but you get in those ruts where you're just like, screw it. And I'm eating donuts. And when I lived in Maine, I was like, there wasn't much else to do there. And you're just like sitting home, and I'm just going to like getting donuts and all that stuff. So it's a nice little reset. So I'm not going to probably do it as long, but I do like to do it. And then as far as like, that's a physical result, but fasting takes a lot of discipline. You just, because then you notice like your patterns of like, you smell something. It's crazy because after day 3, again, just for me, you're not hungry, but you'll smell something. You're like, oh, and then you have like a memory, and then you start realizing your emotions tied to food, and like, and you just want it because you smell it, but you're not, you're not even hungry. It's kind of crazy. Donuts, white noises in the room. Shannon's here. Hello, hello. You missed Friday, but that's okay. I missed you. I was hoping you're okay and you hopefully had a good weekend. But you're back. But remember, the repeat's now on Spotify as well if you're interested. Donuts, I know, right? We're talking about fasting and all that, but I do love my donuts sometimes. But then when I get off, that's another thing with the master cleanse. So Dan and I, we met a guy named Dan Awesome guy. We met him when Dan had his job in Columbus. We were staying in this hotel, and they had a hot tub downstairs. I love hot tubs. And you don't always find a hotel with a hot tub. I think they're harder to find. Usually most hotels will have a pool. But I said, "Can we find a hot tub?" Because I just love hot tubs. And we met him, and he was in the hot tub. He's an older guy, but he's so nice. And he actually bought me a coffee, like more than buy me a coffee. He gave me a donation the other day, which was so kind of him. What a nice guy he was and is. He's still a nice guy. But we were telling him about our weight loss because Dan lost like Dan, you could tell me. I know you're listening, but if you wanted exactly, he lost over 20 some pounds, almost 30 pounds from doing it. And we were telling Dan about it, this other Dan in the hot tub. And then Dan did it himself. He's like, "You guys inspired me to do the master cleanse." And he lost a lot of weight too. He sent me a picture. I was so proud. I was like, "Oh my gosh, good job." But remember, it's not just about losing weight. It's more about like a reset. So if you have some bad habits, like for instance, like if you're trying to quit smoking or get off donuts or sugar, 46 pounds, Dan. 46 pounds? Why am I acting surprised? Like I was with you every step of the way. I don't remember it was that much. But literally Dan's pants were like boom, like falling like off. At the same time, I mean, he didn't eat anything solid in like 30 days. It was almost 30 days he went, which some people think is crazy. But I mean, he's alive and he's fine. And he was proud of himself. As I said, it gets easier after the first couple days. And then it's more of a mental thing and more of a like a social thing. So if you like have Christmas or birthday parties, like you're gonna go there and not eat anything because all these social events revolve around food or going out to dinner and all that. So it takes a kind of commitment and being like, okay, even if it's 10 days, like even Stanley Burroughs says, go like at least 10 days if you can. Again, it's something I'm not pushing it. I'm just saying this is what I'm going to do. Again, maybe I'm going to do it, but it was good because when I had gone to Maine, I had gained weight and all that again and moving and I got out of the rut. I was in a rut and I was eating a lot of donuts and all the good stuff. And we were eating late at Sheets because we didn't have a kitchen for like 2 months. So I was like, oh, like just junk crap, and it adds up. It adds the weight on. So, but yeah, coming off of it though, imagine you didn't eat for 30 days or that was Dan. Me was like 14 days. I started adding vegetable broth in there, but it's not solid. It's just like liquid, but you're just, so, so I did do that to get me through. But like, imagine if you didn't eat for 10, 12 days, when you come off of it, a piece of lettuce tastes good. You're like, oh, lettuce. So you're not even craving donuts. You just like anything, or maybe not like I think I had some carrots, tomatoes, lettuce in a salad because there's also a way to come off of the master cleanse where you eat vegetable broth or then you add like little vegetables because you really don't want to not eat for that long if you're really doing it and then come off of it and eat a big hamburger. I mean, you're gonna feel sick and all that. You're not gonna die, I don't think. Again, I'm not a doctor. Don't Oh, disclaimer, she's talking about health. I'll probably get kicked off freaking YouTube, but for talking about anything like this. But I don't know. It's just it's cool. And then, you know, when you're fasting and stuff like that, you have more time because you realize like so much of your time it's like, what am I gonna have for dinner? What are we gonna cook? What's for lunch? So you have a lot more time to get other stuff done. If you just keep yourself busy, you get a lot. It's usually when I do the cleanses, I get so like even more done than usual. So let me know in the chat room. Is this interesting or is this boring to you guys? I don't know. I don't want to be boring. But my point is saying physical, mental, all that. It's not just for losing weight. It's like for other issues as too. Yeah. Hey, we could do it together. So Shannon says I need a life reset. Um, and like I said, yeah, I get it. I get it. Me too. I mean, you get into these ruts and down, and physical is connected to mental. I mean, obviously, how you feel physically, it depends. Like a lot is to your diet. If you feel good about yourself, like, oh, I did good today. Not even good, like I didn't do that. It's more about like I think retraining your mind for better habits and stuff like that. And I just like the master cleanse. It gives you a little bit of a reset, and then you feel after you've accomplished it, you feel good, and you're like, oh, I don't want to ruin it. I want to keep going and stuff like that. But everyone, yeah, we need a reset. Like I'll be honest, like you get into ruts, and especially I battle sometimes with negative thinking, and I'll have to send that to you, Shannon. It's really good. I found this one account online. I think I shared one video the other day. Maybe I could pull it up. It's like the Flint Blueprint or something like that. Maybe I'll try to pull it up and we could play a couple. But I don't know, just really it inspired me to get back to how I used to think because I think I talked about it on one episode when I read the Dr. Wayne book about manifesting and all this stuff. And I did it. I was in California and I had done the master cleanse then too. And it was like, I don't know, you were on a higher vibe because they do say that, like, if you're eating a lot of heavy food and you kind of, like when you eat a big meal, you're like, oh, your energy and stuff. Um, and, if you believe in energy and vibrations, and there's also people who get into like, I used to be vegetarian and all that. I've tried everything. The hippy dippy people, like, hippy dippy, whatever. But it was me too. Like, you are what you eat, like all that stuff, like eat food that makes you feel alive. More plants and vegetables. You're eating things that make you feel more alive. If you're eating a bunch of like crap from like box stuff that is like, these have preservatives in it from like all that stuff. You're eating dead food makes you feel more like, oh, and then if you're eating more like healthy fruits and all that stuff, you feel more alive. And food is medicine. So they always, you look at any medical book, people who care about nutrition and stuff like that and diet, they are always like, oh, eat this food. Like it's always vegetables, right? Or fruit. Um, some other stuff, I don't know. There's so much out there about it. There's so much. We could just find what works for you, I guess. But I have always found because it's a mental thing. Again, you might not even, if your goal is to lose weight, who doesn't want to lose weight? everyone's like, oh, especially women. They're always like, oh, I'm on a diet. I gotta lose weight, all that. But even if you didn't even lose weight, but once you start doing something that you like have wanted to do and you've just been being lazy and you didn't do it, even just mentally, you feel better. Even if you don't lose weight, like you're just like, oh, you're feeling, how it is. If you finally, you go to the gym and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I went finally, but I didn't want to go. So it's like just a lot of mental, because mental and physical it's so connected, I think, and just, you always hear that too, like instant gratification. Yes, I want the donut, but well, then you feel bad. Like, oh, I shouldn't have, like, but it's like willpower and discipline. Whatever your goals are, So, yes. Is that boring? I could go on and on about this. And I keep feeling like I keep saying I'm not a doctor, disclaimer and stuff. It's just like, how YouTube is. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, again, you're allowed to talk. This is like my experience. And I've probably tried everything, all different stuff, especially being, like I said, being in LA. I did all kinds of stuff. But it was during that time where I was really always like hardcore, like positive thinking, anything's possible, that good stuff did happen. Coincidence? Okay, so I will give a prime example. And this is really freaking cool. It was almost like, it's just like, it does work. I think it works. I don't think I know it works. But, we when I say we, Dan and I, we've moved to Cleveland, and you going through a hard patch, a hard time. Like, he lost his job. We had to move. We didn't ever plan on having to move out of our house. We had to put our house for sale. It's not selling. Like one thing after another was happening. Oh my gosh. And just so many problems. Like it hard to get ahead. The credit score goes down. Then you can't get it. Then you go blah, 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 blah. And then you start like, oh my God. Then you keep telling yourself, nothing's going to go right. What's going to go wrong next? Well, what's going to happen next? Now that the bad thing. And I started like just being in this really negative mode. Like, that's not going to work. No one's going to buy anything. No one's going to support the product. Oh, and I'm like telling myself all these things. And that's what kept happening, And so it's just one of the things. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I talk about, do you create your own reality? Because I really do think thoughts are powerful. So it was, and he's been trying to get a job because he lost a job, after 7 years almost. They just terminated for no reason. They eliminated his position. The shit hit the fan and we had to leave Maine. We had to sell the house because, I make some money, but it was not enough. Like, he's the breadwinner. And I thank him for that. But he worked hard for that. He's been working for freaking 25 years to get the level. He had a good job. And it was good because we're trying to run a bit. I do everything and it just takes so much time. I'm like, okay, the point is to eventually make money from it because we're starting a business. We have a business. And by the way, we finally got our phones in our business account. That was a big hurdle, but we got our new phones. I haven't even turned them on, and we got a promotion. Well, because and a promotional discount on an iPad. I keep saying iPad, but it's a tablet or whatever. But good things started happening because I finally got to the point. I'm like, no more. I can't. I found myself in a very negative pattern. And I just keep telling myself, oh, like, oh no, nothing to work out. We're never gonna get out of this. I'm like started telling myself that. And I like I so and I say in my description, patterns that we don't even recognize. They just start, it's like a muscle. It's good, like it just these like thoughts. And then I'm like, wait, I didn't used to always think like that. Like I used to think anything was possible. I still do deep down, I believe. Why would I still be doing music? Like, I mean, I believe so wholeheartedly in everything I'm doing. I believe in the radio station. I believe in the TV network. I believe in you guys. Um, but you just get in these bad habits of like, and then you really wonder, is it because you're thinking all this bad stuff that it keeps happening? Oh no, they're not gonna call. They're gonna dick us over too. And just keep happening and happening. And like I said, I hit a moment Friday where like something snapped and I was like, no more. I don't think, you gotta try the tricks I used to think. We are already abundant. We are already rich. We are already this. And I'm like, no more. I'm not telling myself I need these, like things are gonna change right now. They've already changed. And if you listen to these videos, I'll try to pull that up because it was one of those videos. It was a culmination of them, because once you watch one, then they keep appearing. Oh, and all of a sudden I'm like, and I just got, and something shifted. It was not like, oh, I'm just pretending, I'm just thinking positively when really I think everything's going to go wrong. Just something shifted where I was like, no, this is not acceptable. We've come too far. I've worked too hard. No, like things are going to change, you know? And, but something shifted and I was like, right now is no, we did a prayer. We did all of our stuff. We're saying in the universe, I was like, things going to change. You're going to get a job. You're going to get a job like this. You already have that job. We're already rich. Like all this stuff when they talk about like parallel universes and your reality already exists and this and that. And the power of thoughts and energy and all this stuff. Like I said, in the past, I'm like, when things are going bad, I'm like, well, gosh, did I manifest all this? I don't know. Is it like back and forth where you're like, sometimes life does just throw things at you. But I think it was the one video I listened to, and I'll try to find out. I'm gonna have to put a little break so I could pull it up. But it was saying like, and I do say this a lot, like your mistakes and your tests, they're not mistakes. Like it's resilience you're building to go through these things and know that like things are going to fly at you. Things are not always going to go the way you want to, but it's about like, okay, do you really get into that really negative mindset? Like, oh, nothing's ever going to change. Everything's going to suck forever. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Because it's easy to get into that. Because I think our negative mind, unless you train it like a muscle, is always, again, for me, maybe not for everyone, probably not, because maybe they're having a more positive experience. But for like a good chunk of like the year, it's been freaking hell, But I'm like, is this us? Are we doing manifest this? Are we bad? But like, or is it just hard right now? These are the parts of the test you're building, you're doing. So, but yeah, that happened Friday, and then it was crazy. It was crazy. Then, like, what happened? I wish Dan was here with me now to tell me exactly, because I'm like, wait, I'm all over the place. But literally the next day, something random happened with his job. Like, I think hopefully he's be getting a new job very soon. And like, no, he's already got the job. I'm saying, putting it out there. He's got the job. But, things with our phone, it sounds kind of small, but something we've been trying to get our name in our phones in our business account to build the business credit and do all this stuff, like worked out. We went to the phone store and they were like, oh no, only $1,000. It's going to be $1,000 each line to get business credit. I'm like, $3,000 to put our phones into our business account because we want to start building that credit. So we can get things we need for the business because we've been funding it out of our pockets. I mean, that's why you're behind. It's hard. It's slow. So like, and then the credit and then this, and then I was like, we left and I was like, well, you know what? We'll find it somewhere else. And then the guy called and he was like, I was able, because we left the store. I was like, well, let's try somewhere else. Like I was in my positive mind. Like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to get it in the business account. And then like, literally I was like, it's okay. Normally I'd be like, oh, it didn't work out oh, really? Why is everything so hard? Everything's, oh man. Oh. But then we were driving, we get a phone call from the guy. He's like, oh, you guys left. I was in the back. I was able to waive the fees and you're going to get, and then you get a promotional iPad. Or I keep saying iPad, but it's a tablet. But anyway, I mean, these are small things, but it was like, all of a sudden it just felt like something shifted. And it was all because I was like, no more are we taking like, oh, life can kick us. No, we're in control of our thoughts and we're going to contribute to it. Doesn't mean that annoying things don't happen still. Of course, like, I mean, that's life. But I think it's again about how you look at it, right? So I don't know. Let me go to my media assets here. I'm gonna play a little commercial or two here. And then I am going to try to find some of those quotes because it's a really cool it's an Instagram account. So it's just like it has a bunch of inspirational stuff. But I think we'll see if I can find that one video that actually I was like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. So let me see if I can find it. But let me put up a couple commercials. Give me a second here. I will be right back. I am Hollis Mahady. You are watching Holistics, and we are at the top of the hour. So hopefully Joe will be joining us in our chat soon and let me know. Let me know what you think. And again, let me know your experiences because there's more to positive thinking than just thinking. I think it's a really there's more to it. But we're gonna tap into that and more on Holistics here. After these commercial break. Need some new tunes to listen to? Why not try the Hollis Mahady Music Collection? As I move towards the new, I'm closing an old chapter with gratitude. To celebrate the new music on the horizon, I've gathered my complete past collection and made it available all in one place. The collection includes 2 full albums with my previous band, Love Zombies, Passion Fruit, and No Slow songs recorded live at Abbey Road Studios, the Be Honest EP with Love Zombies, Hollis original songs, Hollis cover songs, a bonus Christmas album. And this collection represents the journey that brought me here today and the doorway into what's next. To purchase the music collection, head over to hollismahady.com and go to the store. All funds raised go directly towards promoting and advertising my new album on my own label, Voice of Freedom Records. Thanks so much for supporting independent music. Are you enjoying the podcast? If you'd like to support what I'm building, you can buy me a coffee. Every bit of support helps me keep this podcast going and release my music independently. You can leave a one-time tip or become a member for a few dollars a month and unlock exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage you won't find anywhere else. Just visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady or scan the code you see on the screen. Download your free copy of The Reconnection Movement today. Just head over to my website, www.hollismahady.com. Go to the podcast sections, scroll to the bottom of the page, and enter your email to get your free copy instantly. Now more than ever, it's important that we reconnect and support real human creators and real people. When you're truly independent, creating music isn't just art. It's devotion. It's late nights, long days, and pouring your own time, energy, and money into something you believe in, something you feel called to bring into the world. Right now, the world is overflowing with content, music everywhere, so much of it generated in seconds by machines. And somewhere in that noise, real artists are fighting to be heard. The ones who spent years learning their craft, the ones who turned their pain into songs, the ones who kept going when it would have been easier to quit. Most people scroll past without thinking about the soul behind the sound. But if you ever find music that moves you, that heals something in you, that makes you feel less alone, remember, there's a real person behind it. Because good music isn't noise. It's something sacred. If you discover music that speaks to you, support the people who made it, if you can. And there you go. And I'm back, and I'm Hollis Mahady, and you are watching Holistics. We are at the top of the hour, and I'm going to take a swig of my water in my wonderful jug from the Giant Eagle. So if anyone has their H2O, probably should have done that on the break, but stay hydrated, guys. Oh, but yes, on that break there, I was able to pull it up, the Instagram, the videos I was telling you guys about. But I want to say another thing about the positive thinking and stuff. And I got a lovely comment today and a very unexpected support on Buy Me a Coffee. A big shout out to Lee, a high school friend, all the way from back in the day. And her comment really made my day. Like I say, comments and things like that. And she supported, she gave me a little donation there and it helps every bit. Thank you so much. You're probably not watching this, but if you happen to see this, thank you so much. And she said something so nice. She said, it's so nice to see you still following your dreams and all the best and a real artist. And that really made me, that was so nice, because I really appreciate that. Because I know, Chris, like I said, Chris wrote me a message. He's not in the chat room, I don't think. Let me just double check. I don't think he's here. I hope he's here, but he's not in here. But because I told you earlier that someone wrote a comment because I had put on his song Lions. I love this song. And someone put a comment like, why are you listening to this? This is AI generated music. And I'm like, I wrote like I was a lion right away. I'm like, I love Chris. And I was like, this is not AI generated music. But he had used on his cover, like we talked about in the beginning, he used AI generated art, but the music isn't. And I think he was feeling a little bit bad about that. I don't think he would mind if I told you that, because that would be someone saying to me, "Oh, you're using AI you're not a real artist." I'd be like, "Screw you," you know? That would be offensive, because especially Chris too. So I could see why he probably because this why he felt like that, because this guy jumped to the conclusion just because it was an AI generated art that it was AI music, and it's not. So, but to go back to the positive of Lee's comment, thank you so much. That meant a lot, and it was an unexpected surprise. I checked my buy me a coffee, and thank you guys. And Gareth Hooper's in here. Gareth Hooper's in the room. Gareth from the UK. What time is it in the UK? Late. You're a late night owl like me, Gareth. Hi Hollis. We're recording the RPM podcast tomorrow, and I'm playing a Love Zombies tune. Oh, awesome! Which song are you playing? That is so cool. If for you, those of you who might be watching and don't know who Gareth is from way back in the day, the Love Zombies supporter, my former band Love Zombies, and he's awesome. He supports real artists and music, and he's a great fan, and he has a podcast on the RPM podcast. And Gareth, remind me, what does RPM stand for? Did I forget? And Hollis rules. Thank you, Shannon. So do you. Thank you. That used to be my, like, I think that was my MySpace. It was like hollisrules.com or something. Hollis Rules. I had a video from a long time ago. I was telling everyone, tell them all. Do you remember that shit? No, that was New York. That was before I met you. Or maybe I met you. Maybe. Anyway, I had a video when everyone was going, Hollis Rules. I tried to get everyone to say it so I could put together a little compilation. So when you had said Hollis Rules, it reminded me of that. But yes, that is so cool. That is so cool. And I found also, which was really cool, there. I talked about it last week, that new music platform was called Subvert or something, but they accepted my application, and I set up an artist profile on there, and that was cool. Because that to be a nice thing for connecting to other artists besides Spotify. You don't really connect with people on there. I mean, maybe you could write the messages. Bandcamp, it has actually like a whole board and like people talking and stuff. So I'll try it out and see. It seems like a good place that you could have people maybe care. You could put your music up for sale. I put one song up, and then I was like, oh, I should put the Love Zombies album up there, because they said you have to have one release, and I didn't want to put my new music up because it's not out yet. As I talked about earlier, if you guys were listening about the Spotify thing, like if you want to try to pitch it to playlist, it can't be out anywhere. But so I just put up an old song, but maybe I'll put up the Love Zombies albums up there and try to sell them and see if anyone will buy them or whatever. Because like I said, that those albums cost a lot of money to make. I mean, probably close to $20,000, believe it or not. And it's all on sale right now for just $20. It's 18,000. Oh, can't do math, right? $19,980 discount on it. Yeah. So there's that. But that's awesome. That's awesome. The Love Zombies live on. There's great songs on it. And if you go to my Comedy of Errors podcast, I talk a lot about, not a lot about it, but I mentioned it, like the downfall of Love Zombies. Like there was a lot of stuff going on in that band of what happened, but a lot of it was because of budgeting and not having the money to promote the album. And I get into all of that there. So that's on there. And you could watch those if you become a Buy Me a Coffee the member exclusive. Maybe I'll do that little if you haven't seen it, because most of you guys are Buy Me a Coffee, so you could see that. I have 2 podcasts up there, and it's different than this. It's a little bit more. It's not serious. I'm definitely not a serious person, I wouldn't say, but I have a deeper side, so I show that a little bit more. I go through the meaning behind the songs, and some of them, like I say, it's not pretty, but darkness. I talk about darkness into the light, but we're into the light. But to get to the light, you gotta go through the darkness sometimes. Hopefully you don't have to, but I did. I think you said the biggest transformation comes from the darkest hours, and it turns into great music. Say pain and life's mistakes and all that stuff is a good catalyst for music. And Gareth says, we're playing We on You. I'll have to ask Don what RPM means. He named it. I'll stay in here till I fall asleep. Aw, well, good. I will put you to sleep with my voice, perhaps, because that's what Timothy told me. Sometimes he listens to my voice when I do the radio voice, and it calms him and it puts him to sleep. So like most of the time you would take that probably as a not as a compliment, like, "Oh my god, it's so boring that you put you to sleep," but it's late there, so I understand. Um, I will mention your website and the music bundle. Aw, thank you so much. Thank you, Gareth. And like I said, you just popped in, unless you were here and I didn't see you like from earlier. But this week I am going to be going into the studio and really I got to get a date set for Covers, my new single, and I got to put the little press release together because you were so kind to offer that you'll help and put it out there, and I really appreciate that. So I will get that to you. I didn't forget. I just it's not I haven't done it yet, but it's coming. And like I said, by next week at this time, I want to have a date and say, okay, Covers is coming out on May, whatever. And then I could really start putting it out there. Aw, yay, thank you so much. I will play your solo stuff when released. Well, thank you, I appreciate that so much. That is a big help. It's like I said, this day and age, everybody's like, doesn't want to share, do anything anymore. It's like, how much will you pay me? I said, I don't want to pay people to care. I don't want to pay people to like it. Like, yeah, I know we got to advertise it, of course. I'm okay with that. But, you want those people who actually like the music and want to share it. Like I said, the street teams and back in my day, Love Zombies Day, when it was just like people like the music and they shared it. So I guess I gotta put it out to see if people like it and they'll share it on their own without having to pay everybody, because it's kind of not the point. So but here, with that said, just in case anyone is interested in the other podcast, I'll play the 2 minutes and 18 seconds. This is, again, the exclusive podcast. And this week, I want to put another one up. Hey, maybe I'll be able to do 2 episodes, but I got to get to my Buy Me Coffee people. But this is the other podcast I'm doing. It's called The Comedy of Errors. So check this out. There's some stuff that I haven't shared with anybody ever. I'm going to share it with you. Welcome to A Comedy of Errors. A little bit more of the skeletons in the closet. I will only talk about it here in this podcast. We're going to get into the really good stuff. And some of it's not pretty. Went all the way there just to go back to the beginning. Nothing, really? They'll kick you right down. They'll spit in your face. I was living in Hollywood and I was just so beaten down. I love zombies. So much heartbreak. Certainly not the way I saw things going. This up, man. Oh, man, that really screwed my life up. My mom would tell me, oh, you can look back and laugh at this. Really? And then there was not enough left to promote it. I mean, that was a big, big mistake. It's a shame. And the darkness comes to knock you back down. They're just so sex sells. Just show it all. The boudoir. Characters and plot twists. Some people go on the journey with you and some people don't. Sweet Poison Love. Devil in Me. Where Did You Go, Girl? That's my favorite song on the album. I wanted to see other people's hearts. And I don't think everybody is born to do this. Voice of Freedom Records. Am I too old to do music? Can't give up on something that's you. And I could have chosen never to do music again. So how many times are you going to get knocked down or drown your sorrows? Or are you going to hide under the covers forever? It's about letting go of what was. We have the courage to get up and to try again when we've been knocked down so hard. Life's not persistence. What do you do with those struggles? They're all part of the story. This is truly the journey, figuring things out as I go. I invest in those who invest in me. It means so much to me. People who support it. Talking to you, hear about it first. We're going to be releasing it in real time. An insider peek before it comes out. But it's more fun when we have each other. It's not just about me. It's about all of us. We're going to get into all that here and more on A Comedy of Errors podcast. Can't wait to share it all with you. This is awesome. And there you have it. And there's a couple songs there at the end. There's little teasers from all the songs that are to come. But you got to back them up with all the content and all the videos and all that stuff. It just takes forever. But I'm excited to do it. I can't wait. It's like, finally, I've had my wardrobe for this for a year. Last year in Maine, when I was going to be releasing the music, sorry, I've been itchy nose. When I was going to be releasing the music then, which it didn't work out, the timing of it and everything. And then crap hit the fan and that went out the door. But I was working at a cigarette shop as a cashier and saving up as much money because I was ordering all my clothes. I have my whole wardrobe and it's in my closet now. We hauled it here. I'm like, I have my outfits and I use some of them in the photo shoot, as you see, like the jackets and stuff like that. But so yeah, it's like it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but when I was on the watching the little break there, I was thinking of a word of the day. We have a comment of the day. And I actually didn't get a comment of the day, but I think Lee's comment, if I had to put it on the screen, her comment on my buy me a coffee was the comment of the day. And she said, "Keep following your dreams. I'm so happy to see you doing that." I don't know Lee from high school, and she's married now. She's a little girl and a son. And it was just really so nice. And I haven't talked to her in many years. You know, you go on your own ways, you disconnect and all that. But it was really nice. And she said, a real artist. And I said, I took that as a big compliment because I talk about that a lot. I said, I don't think everyone could be a real artist. I think you have to know how to play your instrument, or if you are an artist, you know how to draw. And it's not just about, throwing on a hat and plugging something into AI and now you're an artist. There's some people who really live the life and they sacrificed and struggled, and their songs come from true pain from the heart, not from a freaking computer program. So that was a nice compliment. So that was the comment of the day. But the word of the day today, what's the word of the day? I'm going to make the first word of the day, and that is resilience. Because we talk about, oh my gosh, you get knocked down and the negative thinking, and you're starting over and starting over again and again and again. I don't know if anyone else has this, but you have to keep having to start over, and even with diets or a new day, but every day is a new day to start over, you know, and having resilience, because you're like, oh, I have to start over again. And I've moved like 10,000 times in my life. So you're like, every time you move, you're starting over again. And so the day is resilience, because if you could have resilience, then you could change things. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. With that said, I pulled up the Instagram with this thing I found. So I don't know which video did it because I watched a bunch of them. I mean, you'll see. It's just like they're all this clips of this. You'll see. Let me see if I could share it here. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Add this to the stage. There. Okay, good. You can see it. Okay, let's see. So these are the videos I was talking about that inspired me from my new present day. Living in the past is a present day fast, right? You're starving yourself of the present when you're living in the past because your mind is taken up. Like you're not in the present. You're thinking about the past, and that already happened. There's nothing you can do to change the past, unfortunately. All you can do is learn from it and try to live in the moment. And that's not easy always, obviously, because you're thinking, oh, because of that happened, now I'm in this position because of what I did yesterday. And they say, what you're living today is results of yesterday. So it's hard not to be in the past sometimes, but living in the past is a present day fast because you're not living in the moment. You're not seeing what's ahead. And the only thing they say we really truly have right now, and we have this moment. That's it. You don't, the future is not guaranteed, and we can't go back into the past. You can't change things. You can only learn from them. So living in the past is a present day fast. Okay, so let me go here and let's see what video plays first. The Flint Mind. Here, if anyone wants to follow it, it's at the Flint Mind. So I don't know which one it was. Oh, here, how about this one? Well, we could watch a couple of them. They're short. Let's see if this goes.
You had momentum. Things were moving, doors were opening, and then something happened that wasn't your fault, and it pulled you right back to where you started. Now you're sitting there thinking, what was the point of all that? Was that my shot? Am I just done? And underneath all of that, there's a quieter thought. Maybe I'm not relevant anymore. That feeling is real, because momentum isn't just progress, it's identity. It's proof that you're someone who's moving forward. So when it gets taken from you, it doesn't just feel like a setback. It feels like you've been erased. But here's what's actually happening. You're not back at square one. You're standing in the same place, but with a completely different mind. Square one is ignorance. You don't have that anymore. As the Flint Mind puts it, each setback isn't a judgment of your ability. It's a data point for your next move. What you lost was momentum. What you kept is awareness, skill, pattern recognition, resilience, and that combination is more dangerous than momentum ever was. You're not imagining it. You had momentum. Things were moving.
Sorry. Right? So I say that a lot in my in the comedy errors and stuff. It's just like I say that, right? It's like you back at square one. This one, I mean, this wasn't the one I don't think I watched. Like I said, there's so many of them. It's pretty cool. I won't play all of them, but I don't know which one hit me. And it was like, but that does too. Because it is, you definitely feel that. Like, you had my shot. I mean, back in then with Love Zombies, I was in Hollywood. I thought it was going to be like I didn't think, you thought you'd be making some money from this album. I made no money from that album. Everything like I said, shit hit the fan. A lot of stuff happened that, like, again, go to the Comedy Bears podcast if you really want to know the nitty gritty and stuff. I mean, I'll talk about some of it. I don't like to live in the past, but you're starting again. When I say I feel like I'm starting over again with music, and did I blow my shot? Did this ever? It's like your mind is crazy. But so that kind of hit home for me. I don't know if anyone else understands or could relate it to their own life and certain things. Right? Yeah. White Noise says, is she reading my diary? Superman, right? Yeah. Here, I'll play a couple more. It's so true. Who is this lady? Who are you? Let's see. It can be taken, interrupted, delayed. Okay, let's try this one. But that's it. You feel like you've been dealt a bad hand, right? I mean, you got to go with the card. And some people have it way worse than others. But, like, I don't know. It's just like...
Momentum can be fragile. It can be taken, interrupted, delayed. But the way you think, that's what rebuilds everything.
Yeah.
The mistake people make here is they try to get their old momentum back. Wrong target. That version of you built something once. This version of you can build it faster, cleaner, and stronger.
Yeah.
But only if you stop treating this moment like an ending, because it isn't. It's a pause that exposed something most people never see, that your identity was tied to movement, not mastery. The Flint mind breaks that. It teaches you how to operate when things aren't moving, how to stay stable when external proof disappears, how to rebuild without panic, without rushing, without questioning your worth. And once you start applying that, something shifts. You stop asking, what was the point? And start realizing the point was to turn you into someone who can't be reset. So if you're sitting in that space right now, feeling like everything you built got wiped, don't just sit in that thought. Start working on how you think through it. Because the difference between someone who fades out here and someone who comes back stronger is whether they rebuild with the same mindset or a completely upgraded one.
Yeah.
Momentum can be fragile.
Really?
It can be taken, interrupted.
It's so crazy. Wow. Because, I mean, right? Shannon says totally relate. And wow, that's what I thought too. Because it's like, you say that a lot, and I'll say that too. And I'm always like, why did that happen? Like, I wonder what that's like. Why did that happen? Like, why did Dan lose his job? Why did we buy a house and it was taken away? Or why did, like, or why did that happen? Like, you're always trying to figure out why, and you'll never really know. But for me, when you think of it like this was kind of a, like, you look at the bad stuff that happened, or whatever you view it as bad. Go, like I said, mistakes. Are they really mistakes? Is it you come back now faster, better, like, because you have this experience? There was another one. I mean, there's a lot of them, but it was about, like I said, it's like almost like they're talking to you. I'm good. Shannon feels the same way, so you understand. Like, I apply a lot to what happened in my life with the music and everything, and the career and this and that. Because the heaviest burden you could carry is not what failed. Let's see. I'm just trying to see which one I should pick. They keep thinking they're refining the plan when really... Yeah, let's look at this one.
This is where most people stay stuck for years. They keep thinking they're refining the plan when really they're avoiding the move. The Flint mind breaks that pattern. It trains you to recognize when thinking becomes avoidance, to separate real strategy from disguised fear, to move when the signal is already clear. Not perfectly, but decisively. And when you operate like that consistently, something shifts. You stop circling decisions. You stop needing endless reassurance. You stop waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. You build momentum because you actually move. That's the difference. If you're serious about gaining clarity and momentum, wherever you are right now, you need to get this locked in. The Flint mind isn't just a read. It's the reset that stops your mind from building a case against your own progress. This is where most people stay stuck for years. They keep thinking they're refining the plan.
Okay, wait, let me see. Again, like I said, you're not in a bad life. Okay, let's look at this one.
You're not in a bad life. You're in a hard chapter, and you keep reading it like it's the ending. That's the distortion. One setback happens, and your mind extrapolates. One delay, and it starts forecasting failure. One moment that doesn't land, and suddenly it feels like a pattern. This is how capable people lose momentum. Your brain is built to create certainty fast. It takes a small sample of reality and stretches it into a full narrative, but the narrative is incomplete. You're judging the entire story from a single chapter. And when you do that, confidence doesn't disappear because you've lost ability. It disappears because you've lost perspective. As written in the Flint Mind, your internal voice is the foundation of your confidence. If that voice starts turning temporary moments into permanent conclusions, your identity starts to shrink around those moments. This is where the real damage happens. Not in the setback, but in the meaning you assign to it. You're not in a bad life. You're in a hard chapter.
Knowledge is, what's this one? When you start working through, there's a version of confidence that feels real. Okay, what's this one?
That's exactly what happens when you go through the Flint Mind intentionally. It forces you to confront the patterns underneath your behavior. Why you adjust, why you second guess, why you feel solid in one moment and uncertain in another. And once you understand the mechanism, you stop participating in it. You start trusting your own thinking without needing it reflected back. You stop checking how you're coming across before you speak. You become consistent because your confidence is no longer dependent on the room. That's the transformation. Same energy in every environment. Same clarity under pressure. Same presence, whether you're seen or not. You don't perform confidence anymore because you don't need to manufacture it. You've built something that holds without an audience. And once that clicks, performing it feels unnecessary. That's exactly.
Interesting, right? There's a lot on here, but there was one, anything loud. There was something. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at them. You guys can still see me. But yeah, I mean, it was just, sorry. I'm just looking. How about this one? Create your reality. Let's see.
Your thoughts create your reality. Ownership is what makes that real. Because now your thinking isn't passive, it's directive. And this is where it becomes liberating. You can look at any situation and ask, what actually happened? What part of this is mine? What can I adjust moving forward? That's control. Nothing feels random anymore. Your results connect. Your actions have weight. Your direction becomes intentional. That's the transformation. From being influenced to being in position. From reacting to directing. So when you bet on yourself, it's not just belief. It's a decision to operate from ownership. And once you do that, you don't just carry responsibility. You move with freedom. Your thoughts create your reality.
So yeah, because we talk about that a lot, right? Your thoughts create your reality. I mean, I've heard that forever, and I think that's true. Like whatever you're trying to do or whatever. Like if you want to, like I bring it up a lot because we're going to get a car, but you want a car. I mean, you work towards it. Eventually, you can have it. I mean, you're creating your reality. Shannon says, "Wow, I know, right? Yep. Wow, totally relate. Just followed this thing. You're welcome. No problem. I'm glad I found it. I posted it, and my friend Quentin was like, "Where? That is really cool. I'm in this. I need this." And so, good job to that account, whoever that is. And you wonder, are they using AI? I don't know. It doesn't matter because I don't know. To me, that stuck with me. And of course, there was another one too, and it was one guy. When you start looking at this stuff, as you know, they'll target you, keep getting more of this kind of stuff, which is good actually, because I love it. And there was another guy, and he said something very simple, but it was like, oh yeah, yeah. And he said every time it was for people who procrastinate. I mean, who hasn't? I've done it, like there are two things I'll say. There were two separate advices. And one was for people who procrastinate. When something happens, like, oh, I should do, just say to yourself, do it now. Do it now. Like, I'll do that. Like when it comes in, just do it. Get into the mindset of like, let me do it now. Do it now. So that was one. And then the other thing was when you're ready to, because you say, like, even she said in there, life is happening to you. Or I don't know if she said that, but like you take responsibility for it and say, this all happened, but I'm in control. Or what was it? This is it's my reality, but I'm responsible for this. Because then you think, oh, especially when big things happen in your life, God forbid someone dies or something beyond your control. You're like, am I responsible for that? There's certain things, no, but like how you react to it, or not with someone dying, because that's just something you can't really explain or anything. But even with losing a job and things like that, like you're in control. Okay, I'm going to get another job. Maybe it's not going to come right now, or maybe it'll be a month or two, like whoever, but you're still in control. Like, so it's saying basically don't stop blaming everyone else. I mean, certain things you, like I said, you can't control. God forbid someone dies. Certain things like losing your job. I mean, if you've done everything right and they decide to cut the number, that's out of your control, or there are other things that happen in life, just things you really truly can't control, like freaking, but the point is saying like we have a tendency, I'm not saying we like everyone in the room, but like I know for me, you have a tendency to blame because you want to blame everyone else. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You blame, blame, blame. And that's when people say you become a victim in life. It's just like, oh, you have to take responsibility and say, no, I could change this story and I could change the narrative, maybe with my thinking or, trying other things. If like they always say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. I mean, so if this didn't work, if your thinking is a way in a patterns, that's a big thing because you don't even realize. Then we can go into your subconscious mind of things that you don't even know you're thinking, but they're still like in there, those patterns, those thoughts. Like when you have dreams, like it subconsciously shows up in your dreams, certain things. There's your conscious mind and then there's a subconscious mind. So this is now getting into the psychology and all that stuff. But I guess the point is getting back on that. And I was watching that Friday night and I was clicking and there was some other guy, like some other things and it was clicking. And then like, I literally was like, no, like I really liked it. Like I got to get back into this kind of thinking. Like, and I love what she said. It's just a chapter of your life. It's God willing, you live for a long time. And like certain things seem to go forever. Like, oh my gosh, is this job ever going to, like, is he ever going to get another job? Are we ever going to sell this damn house? This is going to last forever. And it feels like the end, especially like over and over. Like, you feel like you're a failure. Like with my music, is that gonna, like, was I a failure? All that stuff and all your thoughts and all that BS. And again, apply it to your own life, whatever it is. I'm just talking about my music a lot, but I was just like, no, I want to get back into that person. Like they were saying, like that used to think that anything was possible because you get jaded when you go through life. That's why we say, oh, young and don't get jaded, don't go through life and all that stuff. What she's saying here, it's just like you're not starting from square one again. You have people say, I've heard that too. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. And now you go faster. I talk about the game, right? The game of life. Okay, now I know this time I'm not going to take that road to Hollywood. I know that there's a troll in the bush. I know because I played the freaking game. So it's like that. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. But we do, when you're in a really hard time, it does feel like this is the end of the freaking book. This is not the end of the book. Like I said, God willing, you're alive. I always say that. If you're still alive, you have a chance in the game. It's a game. It's all a game. And you get into this weird stuff about energy and manifesting and positive thinking and all that stuff. But it's not just thinking about it. It's doing some of the other work. And when I talked about like the physical and the fasting and like it all kind of plays hand in hand, I think. Again, not everyone's opinion maybe, but if you think, I don't know, we're just here to discuss it all. So it's cooler when you feel like you do have control, because if you have control over some of the bad stuff that's happening, that means you can create some good stuff too. I always think like it's easier to be negative because the test is actually to be positive. I mean, I do it all the time. The comment of the day, you can have like nice comments and that one bad one. And it's like your mind just goes to the negative, Mine, you got to train it to say, okay, look at all this. There's 5 nice comments and 1 bad one. Why does that one stick out? Why am I focused on that? It's like, so it's like training your mind and all that stuff. It's a lot. Yay. Megadeth Breaker says, okay, I'm home now. Well, Hollis, you responded so positively when things shifted. And that's how you were able to come to the point you guys are at today. And you're just getting restarted. Yes. Thank you, Joe. And Joe knows. Joe's heard us bitch and moan a lot about like, oh, no one pissed. And it gets old. Even I said, I don't want to say that anymore. I don't want to tell myself that story. That's a story that we're not telling anymore. Like screw that. Like the old, you tell yourself a story over and over again. Like whatever it is. I failed in Hollywood. I didn't go and nothing worked out. It's like, that's an old story. You got to tell yourself a new story. No, we're rebuilding better than ever before. Voice of the People is going to be like a household name. Like you just keep telling yourself and you keep thinking and you you work towards it, and you have to do ah. Okay, take it from a dude. Maga says, take it from a dude who hit a hard bottom back in '04 and had to rebuild his whole life the hard way. I became a success, and so will you. The number one thing, never quit on yourself. Yes. And Joe, you were listening, but I said the word of the day is resilience. We should have a word of the day, But yeah, it's resilience. And what we should look at what exactly is the definition of resilience. At least in my head, I know it's like getting up quicker. How resilient are you? Because some things just knock you back for a long time. Like Dan losing his job was a big setback. Buying a house in Maine and moving it and then having to sell it with the finances brings your credit back. You think you're never going to get out of this freaking hole. I mean, being resilient, like certain things. So let's see what the real definition of resilience is. I'll check with my my assistant here, ChatGPT. I mean, I could look on the dictionary or whatever, but if anyone else is quicker. And hello, Travis and Charlene in the house. Hello, guys. Thank you for being here. We're having a deeper moment here. We're talking about setbacks of life and a little psychology. You don't want to get too heavy, but hey, like I said, anything goes here. I don't know. It just kind of goes where it is. But yeah, there you go. Joe knows. I mean, it does. It makes you, it isn't. I think it really is that moment when it is so hard. You just want to quit and you don't want to believe it. Like, I've always believed in myself. I really have. But the mind, there's a soul belief, a soul heart that I was always like, no, I'm going to sing. I'm going to make a lot of money through music again one day. I'm going to make money. I'm going to be an artist. And when I say I already am, but like, I'm going to make money from it. We're going to make money from our radio. So we're going to do all that. I've always truly in my heart believed, but it's all this other stuff that no, the competition, no. And then other people telling you, no, you're not never going to wear blah, blah. Not you guys, but you have to be careful. It's like, no, you have to, like you said, never quit on yourself. And that's why I'm here. I'm a big believer in that, a big proponent. Never give up on when they say your dreams. It's not a dream. Never give up on what it is you feel you're meant to do. Like, So I hope I'm inspirational for you guys. Inspirational means in spirit. Here, let's go to ChatGPT and just get the by book definition of resilience. What is the definition? What is the definition of resilience? I feel like it's like how quick you could get bounced back up, right? Let's see what they say though. Okay, resilience is the ability to adapt, recover, and keep going when you face stress, adversity, or challenges. It doesn't mean you don't struggle. It means you're able to bounce back, learn, and continue forward despite difficulties. Because again, in the moment, the lessons, tests, you want to call it, all the BS that comes with mistakes, like I say, a comedy of errors, gotta laugh at it. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, Aaron's in the house. Aaron says, don't despise small beginnings. Don't quit. We believe in you. Aw. Well, right back at you. I believe in you guys too. And yeah, I mean, that's it, right? That's the word of the day, resilience. Because that is just life and perspective too. That could be another word of the day. It's how you frame things in your mind, and it's just like, but it's not always easy because I feel in the darkness, I talk about that a lot. You succumb to it and it could get so negative. I'm talking to myself. I know you could get just so like, oh, nothing. Oh. And I found myself in that. I'm just eventually like, ew, why am I thinking like this? No, hell no. Oh no. But Aaron, welcome to the room. We're so happy to have you here, Aaron. And Joe and Travis and Charlene and Timothy was in here. I don't know if you guys, and if Shannon's still here. But yes, I don't know if you saw that, Aaron, if you just got here, but I was showing you, I don't know if you're on Instagram. I hate Instagram, but this is a really good account. It's called The Flint Mind. And it's probably somewhere else too. Maybe it's on Facebook, I'm sure. This is an account someone made and is just posting it, but they're really, really good. And I haven't even looked at all the Substack results of Flint, YouTube. Okay, it's all on those places. But it's cool. It's very interesting. It's at the Flint Mind. So I'll look at that and look at the YouTube and where else and what exactly it is. I don't want to click on it right now, but I will do that. But yes, White Noise is still here. She gave a big wave. But yes. So wow, we are getting to 8:40 already. Yes, I talk a lot. Let me know. How was your weekend, Aaron? Everything good up in Maine? It's getting warmer. Um, and it was almost snowing last night. It's like, what? We're gonna manifest spring here. Uh-oh, fly season. Fly season up in Maine and the little caterpillars. Maybe they will maybe it'll be a year where they miss it, right? Wasn't it not every year it comes, but those little caterpillars and everything everywhere has something. We had all the rackets and the for the flies. I mean, it's serious in Maine. There's a lot of flies. Um, but let me go here real quick, just in case. Just in case. Remember I said a comedy of errors. You gotta laugh at it. And laughing higher your vibration.
Are you enjoying the podcast? If you'd like to support what I'm building, you can buy me a coffee. Every bit of support helps me keep this podcast going and release my music independently. You can leave a one-time tip or become a member for a few dollars a month and unlock exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage you won't find anywhere else. Just visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady or scan the code you see on the screen. 15 show slots are now open on Voice of the People USA radio and television network. With millions of monthly listeners worldwide, VOP USA is accessible on Roku TV, Fire TV, Android TV, the mobile apps, and the web. An alternative to oversaturated, algorithm-driven social media. Our network is the first streaming network backed by creators, not big tech, not special interests. This is true independence. To learn more, visit VOPUSARadio.com. Join the network.
Yes. So, wait, let me get rid of that. Remove that. But yes, the goal, if you guys are interested, that's the cool account, and I will look at some of that other stuff and tell you what I find, or maybe you'll look at it if you're interested in it. Let me put me back up there. Oh, hello. And let's see. Get my background here. There it is, guys. There it is. No, it's not. I lied. Oh, where'd you go? There she is. There's my little Tinklepaw. God bless Tinklepaw. And I always say this show is dedicated to all those ones we loved who are no longer with us. You're always in our heart. So we're here. And yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm at a loss for words. I have to take a tinkle. Speaking of Tinklepaw, my baby. But what was I gonna say? I don't know. Oh, what else did we do this weekend? Oh, speaking of this, okay. So we went and looked at trucks this weekend. I hate going to the car place though, because the salespeople are like, oh, we'll get you. I know it's not happening today. We're not buying a car. We're not walking out here with a car today. There's still some stuff we got to get in place. But I said, we drove a car. Oh, Aaron, I never drove a truck before. And we went, and of course the guy brings up the big, expensive one. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. We're good. But hey, you never know. With all this manifesting talk, it's already here. My truck's already here. But I never drove a truck before. Right now we just have Dan's car. It's a little Chevy Cruze, and it's awesome. He loves that car. He says it's the best car ever. There's a car got us through so much. Aaron knows, even in Maine winters we were driving that. Oh my gosh, the stories. Oh, I had a Honda and I had to sell it and everything, but I'd never driven a truck before. And it was what was it, Dan? Dan's in the chat room. It was Silverado 1500. Is that what it was? And oh my gosh, I was kind of scared because I haven't been driving lately. I'm very spoiled. Well, it's really because Dan always drives. I mean, I could drive. I've driven, but when you don't drive for a while, I remember Amy said, I didn't drive my car hardly in Maine. Like I said, Dan is a better driver. I don't think I'm a horrible driver, but sometimes I could drive a little like grandma. I get scared. I'm like, oh, and I drive slow. But hey, gotta get my mojo back. When I was in LA, I was on those freeways by myself. I had a new Honda. I was like, oh my gosh, driving. I drove in New York City once or twice. I don't recommend that. But I was determined. I was like, I'm getting New York. And I had driven down there one time. And then I didn't need a car when I was there, but getting my stuff there the first time, I drove my car there. But anyway, wow, it was so cool. And I was kind of like, oh, I'm back in it. Because I haven't driven in a while, like I just said. got kind of spoiled, and Dan's always like chauffeuring me around. But I will drive. I mean, never wants me to drive, but I will. Anyway, my point is he took the test drive in this really beautiful truck. I'm like, oh my God. And then he's like, okay, your turn. And I was like, oh, I don't know. As soon as I got in, I was like, yeah, hell yeah. This is like up really high. And like, I felt so safe in that truck. I was like, yeah, this is the truck. I'm a rock star. I need a truck, man. And starting like, okay, I hate driving, but having a car is useful. Yeah. Actually, when you don't have one again, you're like, oh my gosh. No. A car is definitely car is freedom. I think it's just like you go anywhere. When I remember when I got my first car, well, I had a car in college. It was a family car, and they let me use it. It was a Jeep. So I always liked being a little bit higher up. And then my own first car ever was my Honda CRV. That's now in Maine, and Henry has it, but hopefully he's taking care of it. But I love being up high. And then when it was back to Dan's car, I have driven his car a few times. Obviously, I've driven the car, but it's lower, and I like to be up high. And getting in that truck, I was like, oh my gosh, it was so nice, and had the 4 doors. But I mean, it's really, it's really expensive. Of course. I'm like, trucks aren't cheap, and they always rope you in. Oh, it's this amount with the baseline. It's not. It's always so much more. And then you go and they're like, oh, you could walk out of it today. I'm like, oh, really? You see my credit? But I said, hey, we're going to be living proof. We're going to get a truck. And people say get a used truck and stuff, but I really want to get a new car because, I mean, the last time I got a new car was 15 years ago. I mean, this is a lifetime investment. I mean, car is freedom. Car is, especially a truck. I wish I had a truck a long time ago, but thank God Aaron did. Aaron was so generous, always coming over with his truck and took us to the dump so many times. I felt bad. I'm like, if we just had a truck, and it's going to come in handy, obviously, for equipment and stuff like that. You got to get that cab thing or maybe the cover or whatever. But if you have 4 doors, you can put your groceries in, you can put my keyboard and everything in the back. You don't really want to keep it in a truck unless you have, a cover or whatever. But anyway, the point was, it was just, I loved it. I'm like, we had to manifest this truck. I mean, it's really expensive. So I don't know, but we got a little ways to go. But if we end up selling the house, hopefully we could get some of our money back. We can put the down payment. We can make it happen. We got to get a truck. I'm set on a truck now, right? I see the music videos. Hell yeah. Anything's possible, guys. Got a truck. Cleveland rock and roll truck. Yes, me too. And there's also the Colorado I want to try. I want to definitely we're going to be shopping around. But that's what I said, they're all, and I get it. It's a salespeople's job. But I'm like, that's a big investment. And they're like, we'll do anything to. I'm like, well, I can't have like a $900 car payment right now. Like, good luck with my credit and Dan, like everything. But we're fixing it. But that's why I was like, okay, this is a test. We're going to get a truck. We're going to get something good and something nice. And Timothy suggested, look to see if there's like a 2025 that's, because they depreciate, right? Once they go off the lot, like a new car, everyone wants. Not everyone wants a new car, but Dan definitely doesn't want a new car after working at Carvana because he doesn't want a used car. But there's nothing wrong with used car, of course. Some of them are cheaper. But I remember during COVID, everyone wanted a car, everyone wanted a used car, and they were not that much cheaper than a new car. But I think with we wanted a car we wanted to get a new car for since we met, we're like, we need a new car. So it's like one of those things. Once you get a new car, what's happened in it, or what's, if they've taken care of it and stuff with the oil and all that. You don't know. Sometimes with the used car is harder, but everything comes down to money, of course, financials and stuff. But I think if you could get a new car that's not as that much more expensive than a used car. Because sometimes you get the used cars and they're not that much cheaper than new, and they have a lot of miles on them. Not a lot, some don't. So I don't know. Maybe an old like a 2025 model or something that doesn't have that many and stuff like that. But I don't know, how often do you get a new car? Like I said, this will only be my second car in my life, and I'm should tell my age, but it's like, talk about an investment. They get you everywhere, and if you get in a truck, you could do little jobs and you could help other people who don't have a truck. And yeah, so in Cleveland, there's a lot of opportunity. There's actually an app you could sign up for if you have a truck, and it's It's called like Mover, MUVR, and you can do deliveries and so all that stuff. And you could go deliver stuff and make money. You can move furniture. I don't want to move furniture. It might pull out my back, but whatever. I'd do anything. We hustle. But it takes money to make money. I mean, a truck it's expensive. So they're more than SUVs, but I'm like, I don't know. It kind of idea came in. I'm like, I want a truck. So we're going to manifest together on Holistics. But let us know who has, Joe, do you have a truck? Joe probably has a truck, I would think. I know Aaron has one. And Garrett, did you ever have a truck or do you have a truck? Yeah. You gotta have a car. Because you're trying to get to work and stuff. Because it's been like, it's been difficult. And because Dan travels a lot and then he got the car and when he bought his car new, he was using his own car for travel and he's put like 100,000 miles on it, all for his job. But you need it to get there, obviously. So let me know what's your ride, guys? What kind of car do you like? But no, I'm very excited about it. So visualize it. I see a big black truck in my future. Black, maybe blue. I don't see red. I think I want black. White, not white. There's nothing wrong with white. White is nice. But I knew someone who drove a white truck and it was like not the best memory. So I'm like, it always reminds me of that. I'm like, I don't want a white truck just because of that. But Margaret Breaker says, my 1993 Harley FX DL 90th anniversary edition is the only new vehicle I've ever bought brand new in all my 57 years. Yeah, because a lot of people say don't buy a new car. But like I said, Dan has some insider knowledge at Carvana, which he didn't like. It was a horrible company to work for. But so he kind of has a jaded look. But again, there's obviously nothing wrong with used cars. It's hard to get a new car, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, I've wanted a new car for a very long time. So I'm like, if you're going to save up and spend the rest to get a new car, I don't know. Or maybe get it, like I said, a year model that's older. If you can. It's not easy. Getting a car is hard. At this point, if I had to get a used car, anything, I guess. But, or wait longer and make sure and save, get what you really want to get. Gareth says, no, never had a truck. I got a nice runaround. Needed being backed and forth for the hospital. What's a runaround? Oh, like just a runaround car. Yeah. Like locally. Because that's the thing. Like once we get the truck, that is going to be good for Cleveland winters and stuff. And then if Dan has to use that for work, I will have the runaround car with the blue car because there's so many miles on it, but it's a good car and he took good care of it. So I think it should last for a while. I used to have a Honda. They say Hondas could go like 300,000 miles if you take care of it. I took good care. Henry got a good deal on his car because this person here, thanks to my mom, was always like, did you get your oil changed? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, you got to take care of it because that was my first car. She was always like, make sure you change the oil. Make sure don't let it go. So that car is good and probably will last a long time, that Honda. But Joe says, I have 2016 Mazda CX-5. I only bought 2 cars in all my life. All others were inherited cars and none of them were trucks. Yeah. I always took excellent care of my cars as much as possible. Of course, my bikes the same way. So I made every vehicle last at least 6 or 7 years minimum. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. A car, man, it's an investment and there's always, you got to keep up with it. It will get ruined. The tires and it's not cheap. It's hard to have a car. There's always something, you need something with it. And it's good. You smart people out there who know how to take care of your cars and do some stuff yourself. You save a lot of money because they see, they take advantage sometimes if you don't know what you're doing. So it's good to know. The Harley is 33 years now. It still costs somebody it will still cost $500,000 in cold cash if they wanted to buy my bike. Really? Wow. Or is that because it means so much you will never sell it? Or is that really how much it's worth? I don't know. Yeah, it's a small car, nothing fancy, but just gets around locally. Yeah, that's all you need. Like I said, it's not for me, it's not like, oh my God, I want some big flashy car. Like I said, I would like to have a new one. And just if you're going to invest, you got to get what you need. We have an idea. We'll talk about it some other time about towing something. So there's also a reason. It's not just like, I don't care. Some people really care about, I don't care about fancy rims and this. I said my only request, because I got split. My only request, if I could have one fancy thing, is the heated seats. Oh yeah, baby. That is so great. Oh my gosh. And I never had heated seats ever until Dan's car has a heated seat. So in the winter, I'm like, oh, warm my butt, warm my butt. Oh, it's so great. So, but I mean, I don't care really. Of course, if you could get it, sure. I don't care about the moonroof or the souped up thing and all that. I don't really care. My one wish list is the heated seat because in the winter when it's freezing and you can go into the car and it's a heated seat. It's so cool. But I mean, I don't care. But like you said, just whatever, something that runs, obviously, that's reliable, is the most important thing. But as I said, we're thinking about our future, and there's something we're going to be towing a trailer, and we got to make sure it has the tow capacity and all that stuff. So maybe we're hauling equipment, maybe we're hauling something else, another business idea we have, and things like that. It's all coming. It's all coming, and it's all possible. It's all possible. Can't wait to share it all here on Holistics. Yes. And I'm your host, Hollis Mahady, and we are at the top of the hour already, guys. So yes, Shannon, Shannon, you're in New York. You're still in New York, right? Do you have a car out there? Because I know, like when I lived out there, I mean, I never had a car. You didn't need one out there. And then you think, oh, taxis and this is expensive, but really, it's probably cheaper because you don't. But I mean, rent out there is very expensive. I always thought that though. I'm like, well, you don't need a car in New York, so you're saving on insurance. You're saving on the cost of a car. You're saving on gas. So, I mean, everything balances out. I don't know. New York is crazy. New York is very expensive, obviously. Probably get even worse now. But let me know if you're in Brooklyn and if you have a car. Because again, you don't need it there. I mean, LA, you needed a car because it was more sprawled out. You were going, like, they have a subway station there. But I mean, I'm here, but no car. Yeah, so you don't need one. Are you in Brooklyn still? I remember you were in Brooklyn, right? Yeah. I mean, if you're in a place where you don't need it, that's great. See, I was thinking again, when we moved to Cleveland, I was kind of like, should I sell my car? Because I thought maybe if you're living downtown Cleveland, you don't really need a car. I mean, unless you're working far away, well, you would probably need one. But I was thinking I'll live downtown and I'll get something locally near so I can walk there. But then it didn't happen. Then we ended up, and I'm like, oh man, I sold my car. Damn it. Maybe I should have kept it, But at the time I needed the money for moving. So it was like, well, and my baby, that it was getting up there. My CRV, she's almost 15 years old, but she would have lasted. She would have lasted probably a long time. So Henry, like I said, he got a good car there, and this one took care of it. Thanks to Sally, my mom. She made sure, make sure you take care of that car. Make sure you get the oil changed. And it was cool because a little light comes on when it's ready. And I changed the tires a lot. I got a lot of work done to it. I kept it up. But yes, so Shannon is still in Brooklyn. And Monica Dirtbiker says, that's what the bike is worth to me. Yeah. Since I'm the title holder, I can charge whatever I please. The bottom is like, I will never sell it. Yeah. Yeah. Like it's just something. No, there's no price tag on it for certain things. Like certain things. I don't know if I have something I would never sell. I'm trying to think. That's a good question. What do you guys own that there's no price no matter what? I would say like, a piano, a keyboard. I mean, as long as I could get one to replace it. But I mean, I'm trying to think of a sentimental thing that I would never sell. That doesn't matter. I'm sure there's something. I just have to think about it. I mean, like I said, I don't have like a piano, like my organ, my organ, that was sentimental. I wouldn't sell that, but no, we didn't sell it. We did get rid of it, but I took the piano keys off of it. And like, I remember I took a piece of it. I still have it in Prescott Avenue in Scranton because that was sentimental. I wouldn't have sold that, but I forget why we got another organ, but I forget why we had to get rid of it. I don't remember why. I don't know. Maybe my mom wanted it gone or something, but I was like, no, this is sentimental. So, but it was getting old and you couldn't really play it. You couldn't hear it. It was like crackling. And so it wasn't really that useful, but like as far as playing it, but I was like, oh, there's so many memories on that. But I took the keyboard top of it off and the pedal. And so I have pieces of that in Holly's Playhouse there, but the organ, because the organ is literally where it all started for me. And the organ, my dad, God bless you, made me play the organ. I was like, God, and then I got into it. Or maybe it was my dad was like, no, you're going to learn something here. So with my dad, dad responsible for my music talent and the organ. But yes. But yeah, let me know. Let me know if you guys think of anything. I'm sure there's something else like your cat or something. You don't sell your cat. I would never give my no price for my kitties or the dog or anything like that. But who sells their pets? I know. So anyway, we are at the top of the hour at 9:00, and I don't know. I have a commitment at 10:00. I have a couple other things I have to do. Some more social media experimenting, but I will tell you guys all about soon. But is anybody here on TikTok? Anybody? Anybody at all? The reason why I ask, if you are, go give me a follow because I'm trying to get my account up to 1,000 followers on TikTok because then you could go live and I'm going to be playing some live music on my TikTok and see, this is what, I have to doing. I don't know. So if you are on TikTok, my username, I forget, I think it's just Hollis Mahady Music. You have 8,000 social accounts. I can't keep track, but I think it is just, my Hollis at Hollis Mahady Music. I have 311 followers, and today I only had 80. And I cracked a little code of how to get some of the followers, but I'll share that if anyone's interested. As they say on TikTok, it's not followers, it's besties. You can't even say there's certain things you're not supposed to say. There's all these rules. It's like kind of weird, but very weird. My first singles covers is coming soon from a Comedy of Errors, hollismady.com. But yes, so if you're on the TT, go ahead, give me a follow if you don't mind. So I'm working on that. But the way you get these followed, then you have to go and follow other people and go in the chat room and they say your name, you send them a little thing and they follow you. There's a lot. I don't know. But hey, I'm honest. Like I said, it's a social experiment. So, but with that said, guys, I think I'm going to start wrapping it up because I have to take a tinkle and also I do have a bunch of things to do, like other social media, like all this stuff for tomorrow. So tomorrow, let's say unfortunately, I might be doing a replay tomorrow. I'll see how the day goes, but I will let you guys know if I'm live because I don't want to, you guys don't probably want to see a replay, but I'm here every night. But I said, if you weren't here earlier, if you missed it, I need to clone myself, but I'm behind. I need to like promote the shows and make all this like stuff and get it hooked up to iHeart, all this. There's just so much. So it's not that I don't want to be, but I'm really focusing and trying to get my single and all this content for it and put it on Spotify and the playlist. And there's just too much. So this week I'm a little more focused on the music after tonight, and getting another Comedy of Errors podcast. But I think everybody here, you can see the Buy Me a Coffee. I'll be posting a lot of stuff on that. If I'm not live tomorrow, there'll be a replay. If I am, like I said, I'll send it out to you guys and let you know it's live, a new episode. That's all. New episode. Because I'll be here. Some people don't know if it's new or old if they've never seen it before, but I'll be here. With something. I'll be here in some form or the other. But if you really want new stuff, I will be, like I said, I really got to get into the studio and start practicing. I'm paying for that and I want to get my music out there finally. But like that, it's a whole other person needs to be cloned to do just that stuff. So tomorrow it may be live, but I will let you know if it's a new episode. Otherwise, I will be tomorrow here with a replay. And what else? I have to do my ending closing thing. If you are watching this somewhere and you're new and you're not already liking it or subscribed or following it somewhere, and you do like it and you want to learn more or be involved or know more, all that stuff, give me a follow. The best way is to go to hollismady.com. hollismady.com, it's right there. hollismady.com and sign up for my email list because it's another thing that I've got to put on my email list and let everyone know, oh, there's a new show. I still haven't gotten to do that. So I'm just kind of backpedaling. No, that's the word, backtracking in order to, I totally lost my train of thought. No, few steps backwards, but it's not backwards, to go forwards because I want to get some guests on here. I have to have a couple days to do that, to get like the guest book, to get want to promote it, got to do all this stuff. So I need that time. So by next week, we could do new episodes and maybe have new guests on there and some new stuff because I want to put my best foot forward and we have a word of the day. So I will let you know tomorrow. I send out, Dan is my executive producer and he sends out text message to all you guys. I'll let you know if it's a live episode tomorrow. If not, it will be a replay, but I will let you know when I'm a new episode, not live, new episode. So I'll let you know when there's a new episode. An episode. I can get the point. Okay. So with that said, again, if you're one of those eyeballs, Twitter, if you're watching on X, nobody likes to repost it. Social media. You could do me a favor and repost it if you like it. I guess if you don't, you're not going to repost it. But if you're watching it, maybe and you've been watching this whole time, maybe it means you like it. So it helps me if you share it out. If you're on the TikTok again, go ahead and follow me at Hollis Mahady Music. Let's get me to 1,000 followers. Besties, sorry. But let's check the X. As I said, X is, I don't know which one's my least favorite. It's a tough tight competition there because I really kind of hate them all, to be honest, except VOPUSAradio.com. If you guys aren't watching it there, maybe you are, but you could go on there as well. And VOPUSAradio.com, we have some interesting news coming about that too, where we're going to be finally getting an even better platform. It's going to be more capabilities of the one we have now. So all that's coming with the transformation, guys. Everything is possible and nothing is off limits. So on the Twitter right now at the moment, if I open the live video, I see there's 14 people on the X watching it. So if you're one of those 14 people and you haven't given it a heart, perhaps there's one heart on it and there's one retweet. So if you did like it and you can donate, that would be amazing. If you want to throw a couple bucks in the tip jar, if you like this content, you want to see more of it. Hey, like I said, I finally can hire an assistant, get some help. I could be definitely new episodes every single night. But until then, I might have to play replays so I could get the help I need so we could keep going. So if you enjoy it, smash that like button, do a heart, retweet it out if you can, share it somewhere. Again, it helps and it only takes you a second. It's free to do that. If you could, and all the people who already have, thank you so much for all your support. Everyone, the Rumble rants and the buy me a coffee and the monetary things. I know that's not easy, but if you can, we appreciate it so much. And I really appreciate that. And I always say, it's not just about money. If you can't donate, no worries. I understand totally, but you can share it. You can. There's no reason you can't, because I show up here. And if you're here watching it, not one of the people in the chat room, because I know you guys are also supportive. But if you are watching it and you've never engaged, you've never done anything like hearted it or liked it, but you like it, do me a favor and like it. Share it out. It helps. So, sometimes it's the least you can do. I come here and I entertain and hopefully give you maybe some words of wisdom or whatever. Maybe you had a good time. And if you haven't ever engaged, chatted, and you're always watching, do me a favor and retweet it. Share it out. We'll see. Twitter, X, I hate to say it, guys, you always disappoint me. So if you want to surprise us, as I said, manifesting by next week, everybody will be liking and retweeting it. Oh, we'll get to the top of the Spotify playlist. But until then, thank you guys so much. And I will do that real quick. Just one more time for those awesome, engaging besties on the X. This one's for you guys.
Are you enjoying the podcast? If you'd like to support what I'm building, you can buy me a coffee. Every bit of support helps me keep this podcast going and release my music independently. You can leave a one-time tip or become a member for a few dollars a month and unlock exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage you won't find anywhere else. Just visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady or scan the code you see on the screen.
All right, guys. So thank you guys again so much. Remember, I will let you know when the next new episode is. Why can't I say that? Next episode, when our new one's up, and I will let you know for that. And I love you guys so much. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for chatting. It's like I said, and Jason, good night, Jason. Thank you everybody so much for being here, for showing up, for supporting, and for chatting, because it's so much better when you're here. And yeah. So I guess that's it for tonight. And Spuriglio, big shout out to you and to our kitties, Ruby and Pearl and Jake. He's the best. He's the best. So yeah, I hate to go, but I do really have to go pee-pee. So with that said, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing night. Take care of yourself. And remember what we talked about. Remember, if you're in that negative thing, you're not alone, but you have the power. I really, truly think we are big, powerful people. And anything truly is possible if you believe that. I truly do believe that we're here to be happy and we're here to enjoy life. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that because there's things working against you. But remember, you're powerful than you think, more powerful than we think. Our mind is powerful. Joe is a great example of that. He said he built, he picked himself up and off the ground, and these are all tests. So never give up ever. And I wanted to say, Joe said, "Oh yeah, well, thanks to you, Hollis, I was able to make a few posts on my YouTube channel, which I've never done before. So I was able to post 3 of my favorite 80s songs there, as well as you in studio." Oh, awesome, Joe. Good. See, we're learning new things every day. Good for you. Well, thank you for sharing that. And yes, and good night, Shannon. Love you. I'll let you know when I'm a new episode again. There, I said it. And again, if you're on the TikTok, you could see some music and all these little micro content and all the stuff I'm going to post. And I will let you also know when there's a new Comedy of Errors episode up there. All right, guys. All right. I love you all. Take care. Be safe. And I will see you next time. And that will be tomorrow. All right. All right. So let me close out here and say, okay, we'll end it with one of my favorite songs. This is Lights. And have a great night. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. And I am Hollis Mahady, your host, and you have been watching Holistics. See you soon.
Thank you for watching Holistics, hosted by me, Hollis Mahady. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to share it with someone who might need it too. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady. You can make a one-time donation or become a member for just a few dollars a month to get extra podcasts and exclusive behind-the-scenes content you won't find anywhere else. Or simply scan the code on the screen. Your support truly means the world to me and helps me continue creating independent content for you. If you like the music featured in this show, I license it through Epidemic Sound. You can head over to hollismahady.com, click on the podcast page, and use my link for a free trial. And don't forget to check out VOPUSARadio.com, where I host my music channel and am building a growing community of independent musicians. If you're interested in joining the network, just click Join Network and submit an application. Until next time, remember that you are loved and never alone. From human to human, big hugs. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the outro video. I love this song.
Lights shining from the window late at night. I'm just watching someone else's life go by, wishing it was mine. Dreams, everybody has them at the start. Somewhere along the way they fall apart, and it makes it kind of hard to look up at the lights. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I can finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. Try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I can finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. When you wish upon a star just to find out it's a plane. And when you think you've come so far, but you're standing still again, and you finally understand. When the lights go out, everything is clear. When the lights go out, I could finally see. When the lights go go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I can finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror, when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. Hope, try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't.